My name is James Rowlands, and in 2015 I started the WNR podcast with my friend
Dan White. And every month we bring you the latest collections, newest content, 205 Live and the crown jewel of the WNR NXT update.
Also each month the latest pay-per-views, and we are live not only for the Big Four but every takeover as well.
Plus, in 2019, we go back 20 years and witness the Attitude Rise and the WCW's demise.
Until we've watched everything, we're with you, and we are the WNR. Yes, hello, I am James Rowlands, and as always I'm joined by
Dan White.
And today it's the WNR251. We're going to look at WWE Crown Jewel plus a lot more. But before we do anything, it is a very special episode today because it falls between both our birthdays. But I'm making this more about Dan because he is the real kind of cog that turns the wheel that is the WNR podcast. So because of that...
Oh, I normally would get bashful, but I actually wholeheartedly agree with everything you're
I
saying.
know, you know, don't let it hit you. So the alternate intro. Oh, Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain or the scars that won't heal? Your eyes have died, but you see more than I. 'Cause Daniel, you're a star in the face of the sky. And of course, that's Daniel by Elton John. And, you know, just a couple of things. Like we say, Dan, you do feel like the kind of brother I never wanted. Also, you know, I know you still carry the scars from last year's predictions loss. So we'll move on, and we're going to have a full show because last week we had our Halloween spooktacular, so now we're kind of back to normal. We've got a couple of weeks to catch up on. How have you been, Dan? How's your 2 weeks? You enjoyed yourself?
It has been enjoyable, yeah. I've been busy working, so it's flown by. I've been trying to catch up with the results, but there's so much wrestling to watch, it's hard to fit it all in.
Yeah, well, like I say, I've been away as well in these couple of weeks, but we've got so much for you here today. We've got, of course, WWE, AEW. We're going to look at Impact Wrestling later on as well, but let's start off with WWE and Raw. And October 21st, 2019, we're just going to go through the quick results on that one.
Well, Drew McIntyre somehow managed to defeat Ricochet. Before the match, a possibly drunk Ric Flair announced McIntyre as the final member of his Crown Jewel team. McIntyre defeated Ricochet with a Claymore, then continued to sort him after the match.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to reintroduce McIntyre. Let's just hope they go all the way with him now, rather than kind of stop-start. Your man Ali B defeated Jason Reynolds, Black One, with in a quick match with the Black Mass Kick.
Yes, Rusev was interviewed by Jerry Lawler about the affair between Lana and Bobby Lashley. Rusev still wears his wedding band and hopes they end up happily ever after. Lana and Lashley interrupted from a restaurant that Rusev would never take her to and flirted. Rusev said he knew where they are and would deliver his response to them personally. Later in the episode, Rusev attacked Lashley at the restaurant and was taken away by police.
I mean, this is an awful storyline, isn't it? You know, I mean, I know Paul Heyman is behind this, but this just really kind of turns me off. Andrade defeated Sin Cara with a hammerlock DDT after interference from Zelina Vega. And now Humberto Carrillo, now dressed like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, watched the match from backstage.
So that's 3 matches and 3 of my guys have been in. They're trying to cater to me, I suppose. But R-Truth was hoodwinked by the Bollywood Boys backstage and lost the 24/7 championship.
The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, defeated Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Either pinned Hawkins after the Viking experience.
The Viking Raiders. Well, Rey Mysterio cut a promo thanking fans for their support and saying Cain Velasquez will give Brock Lesnar another scar at Crown Jewel. He was interrupted by Paul Heyman on the Titantron, who said that he wouldn't say those things if Lesnar was live in the building.
Well, Ray was then interrupted by Shelton Benjamin, saying he wanted the opportunities that Brock and his buddy Benjamin pushed Mysterio around until Cain Velasquez made a save. Velasquez threw Benjamin around and choked him out with a rear naked choke.
Now, the fans were actually really behind this, but then they started turning on Cain Velasquez after he was laying in punches to Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It didn't look the best offense, shall we say. And the jury's still out on Cain.
Well, Seth Rollins said that The Fiend had changed him, then challenged Humberto Carrillo to a match.
Yeah, and then Seth Rollins defeated Humberto Carrillo. Rollins won after a competitive match with the stomp. Afterwards, Rollins returned to the ring to shake hands with Carrillo.
R-Truth tried to win back his 24/7 championship, but pinned the wrong Singh brother. Are they saying that all Indians look alike?
Well, I guess so. And then the Street Profits defeated the OC and AJ Styles, but was caught and thrown out by the referee when he refused to leave. Kevin Owens showed up and hit him with a stunner. This allowed the Profits to win their Royal debut with a frog splash on Carl Anderson. I should say the Street Profits were really over with the crowd. That is someone at NXT. It took a long time to work. They've gone to Raw and it just seems to click straight away.
Yes, well, we go on to October 28th. That date rings a bell for some strange reason.
It is. Oh, my birthday. So Raw was on... let's check out the Raw results on my birthday. And the show opened with a turn of Paige, who introduced the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors. The Warriors wouldn't let her talk, and then Asuka sprayed green mist in her eyes. It's not the worst thing Paige had in the face. Becky Lynch then made a save by fighting off both Kabuki Warriors, leading directly to the first match.
Well, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch defeated Kairi Sane, and Lynch won a competitive match by submission with the Disarmer.
I guess Asuka and Sane are proper heels now, and they're getting rid of Paige. Think that's a good idea to get rid of Paige if she's not really doing much, you know?
Well, it is still good to have Paige in some capacity in the WWE, though, because, you know, she's a very good character.
And maybe she can get like a babyface team together to try and challenge Asuka and Sane down the road, maybe, I don't know.
Well, R-Truth bought a pair of glasses so he could be more focused on getting back the 24/7 championship. He was interrupted by some annoying twat called Buddy Murphy, who said that Truth may not know who he is, but after tonight, he won't forget him.
Yeah, and my man Buddy Murphy defeated R-Truth. The 24/7 division jogged around the ring during the match, distracting Truth. Truth ran out to jog around the ring with them, but then he got back in the ring to beat the count. Murphy hit him with a knee strike to win the match.
Well, Street Profits dance around and cut a promo about how they want the smoke.
And then Ricochet defeated Drew McIntyre by disqualification. Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart and Ric Flair at ringside. Ricochet missed a 630 senton and got hit with an RKO.
From out of nowhere.
Yeah, by Randy Orton for the DQ. After the match, Orton and McIntyre taunt Hogan. What a dream tag team that is there. You got the wealth and experience of someone like Randy Orton with the raw power of a Drew McIntyre. There's so much Orton could teach McIntyre if they wanted to go that way.
Wow, James, I know you're just saying this for the benefit of me, but I wholeheartedly agree with you for the second time today. Well, backstage, the OC tried to intimidate Humberto Carrillo.
And then Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, defeated Rizzo and Bryant, the Chicago Cubs. The Jobbers wore 4 Chicago Club baseball uniforms with hats. The Raiders won with a Viking experience. Not sure why that match took place.
Because they was in Chicago?
Yeah, but even that, it's just... The Raw Tag, they don't need jobbers anymore, do they? Just go against a proper tag team.
Well, Andrade defeated Sin Cara, and Sin Cara introduced a female masked manager, Carolina, to counter Zelina Vega. While Carolina was attacking Vega to prevent her from causing a distraction, Sin Cara got distracted himself, and Andrade rolled him up with his feet on the ropes to win.
Charlotte Flair and Natalya defeated the Iconics. Natalie tapped out Billy Kay, the sharpshooter. Payne Royce couldn't help.
We had a Falls Count Anywhere match. Universal Champion Seth Rollins defeated Eric Rowan. Rollins and Rowan fought around the arena. Rollins was able to win by forcing a forklift driver to lower the forklift's forks and a wooden pallet onto Rowan and then standing on it. Hasn't that already happened?
We've seen that so many times. Aleister Black delivered the same backstage promo he always does.
I'm the one who knows. That was someone different. United States Champion AJ Styles defeated Humberto Carrillo. Styles won by submission with the calf crusher. After the match, Styles pretended to shake Carrillo's hand, but didn't. So Carrillo punched him. Styles and the OC then attacked Carrillo until the Street Profits made the save.
Well, Jerry Lawler hosted a divorce segment for Lana Rusev. Lana, she left Rusev because he was a sex addict who only wanted to put a baby in her, ruin her fashion influencer career. She has said Rusev cheated on her, which she heard from Bobby Lashley. Lashley showed up and he and Rusev brawled. Rusev removed his wedding ring and made Lashley swallow it. Lana saved Lashley by attacking Rusev with a kendo stick, distracting him long enough for Lashley to hit a low blow. He then hit a second low blow and the segment ended with Lashley and Lana kissing over Rusev's body. That was the end segment of Raw. That really shouldn't be. You know, when we talk about it, that's... Why the hell was that being put there for?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. So we had a couple of episodes of Raw. What are your thoughts on Raw, just looking at the quick results?
There have been a few entertaining matches and storylines, but I just still don't think it's kind of going into what it should go into, if you know what I mean. It's like it's kind of still missing something.
I think without doubt, Raw is very hit and miss. The talent is definitely there that we're seeing. We've got guys that we like, but with this build up to Crown Jewel, and it's a bit of a slap in the face to Hell in a Cell that I've kind of forgotten pay-per-view with so Crown Jewel in between, even though it's not meant to be a kind of proper show anyway. But that's Raw, so we'll move on to AEW because we've got a couple of weeks to catch up with that as well. So what we'll do is that we'll have a look at the 2 episodes of Dynamite that we had. So AEW Dynamite, it was episode 4.
Yes, no time for introductions as we are in ring with Private Party versus Lucha Bros.
And of course this is the semi-finals.
Yes, the Private Party upset Young Bucks while Bros beat Jurassic Express.
The Luchas take over from the start.
And of course, on commentary, as always, is good old JR, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur.
Well, Private Party with a few double team moves to start.
Well, one thing is the ref lets the other partner in for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, usually it should be like a 5 or 10 second rule, but I know it's his discretion, but it does get a bit silly at times,
Yeah, Pentagon worked on, but 450 couldn't put him down.
A couple of sick double foot stomps put the Bros back in it.
Then incredible move, Private Party on the other shoulder, drop kick into reverse Rana.
Yeah, it was incredible. Bros get cocky, letting Private Party back in.
And then Cassidy flies around the ring but couldn't put Phoenix away.
I honestly haven't seen some of these tag team moves like ever. Some of these was just like, oh my fucking god, it's unbelievable.
We see a shooting star by Quinn and a Hurricane Rana into an RKO.
Yeah, which again is just like, what the fuck? And then Phoenix runs the ropes and hit a kick, then a pile driver foot stop combo, finally got the job done. I'm getting more and more impressed with the Lucha Bros, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it was quite a very good, entertaining match.
It's brilliant. It was a tag team match. Both teams showed excellent skill, and it was just enjoyable to watch and a great way to start.
Yes, well, Ward Lowe is coming.
Yeah, I hope he enjoys it.
He's kind of like a generic big man.
And then we get an update on Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, he's mobile, but won't be back for 6 to 8 weeks.
So who will meet the Lucha Bros in the final?
Well, let's find out.
Well, the SU come out, and obviously not with Daniels.
Well, last week, Scorpio Sky competed with one shoe and beat Best Friends. This time, he was fully dressed.
Kazarian alongside him looked very serious.
And Dark Order had a bye to get here and not sure about the group. Even a video package doesn't help. And that was just like a really large fella, wasn't it? And then the rest of them are crawling around and they're kind of, I
mean, they look like a shit War Raiders would probably be the best way to kind of sum up. But like I said, the mask and the guys, don't get me wrong, I like the Husker type wrestler, but that's a bit too much,
Absolutely, yeah. It was a slow start and it felt like it was a proper WWE match.
Yeah, and a horrible outfit of Eva Uno and a stupid name as well.
Well, the ref gets distracted.
And Kaz just can't get in. We've seen it all before. We know what the Hill team does.
Yeah, and even AEW knew this was a dud by having the Inner Circle arrive through the crowd going up to their box.
Yeah, and there was a match going on, but the crowd just was not interested in the match at that point.
Yeah, and Kaz gets a hot tag, but crowd's still not watching it.
He brings the heat, but not enough to save this match.
And it was a rare misfire by All Elite.
Yeah, well, we get shots of Jericho watching on, and of course, we're a little bit bubbly.
Yes, we go back to the match and a double submission spot.
And Sky the star again in this match.
Yeah, fights off both men.
And then with help from Kaz and the SCU later, Scorpio gets the win. So SCU go through to the final to meet the Lucha Bros. That should be a very interesting match next week.
Yes, and Joey Janela, the bad boy known for his hardcore style, is in action.
June 29th at Fyter Fest, he lost to John Moxley, and a couple of weeks ago came up short against Omega on AEW Dark.
Yes, and he would have a chance to put things right and get his revenge against the cleaner.
Yeah, well, 3-3 overall record. It's not been a great start for our boy Kenny.
No, and it is just pure wrestling to start off this.
Yeah, I think this was just to show Joey isn't just a hardcore guy.
But, good match, but, I don't think I can speak for you as well, but I'm just not on this Kenny hype train just yet.
Nah, I don't think I'm buying the fact that the crowd are obviously invested in him. I can tell he's a good performer, but I just once it clicks with me, hopefully, then I'll start understanding a little bit more.
Well, yeah, Kenny finished things after a nice exchange with the one-winged angel.
Yeah. Well, Cody's out next with the huge fireworks and fire. I mean, we talk about Triple H having grand entrances. Cody gets banged for his buck every week on AEW.
Absolutely, yeah. Tony interviews Cody, but gets disrupted by blowhorns used by the Inner Circle.
Yeah, the champion grabs the mic and just boos into it.
But Cody says something. He's like, unlike that other promotion, there are no invisible walls, and I can easily climb out of this ring.
Well, Jericho calls him a coward and then a little bitch.
Not a little bitch.
Yeah.
Well, Cody stops because he knows it is 4.
Well, until Dustin and MJF arrive.
But it's still 4-on-3.
Bang!
DDP is here.
And he looks in great shape.
And they all storm up to the box.
And Jericho locks himself in the box, but Cody smashes the window.
Doesn't he get that scarf wrapped around his hand and punches through the window?
Yeah, MJF scar, which Jericho mocked earlier as well.
Well, Jericho locks himself in the box, but Cody smashes... Oh, he's done that bit. And then it is on!
There's on. They all brawl up until security break it up.
And the next match is Young Bucks versus Best Friends.
But Orange Cassidy is here.
Well, freshly squeezed, gets pushed, but responds with some vicious super kicks.
I have never seen super kicks that tough in this business, but he eats a double by the Bucks.
Well, it's good that these are the two losers from the tag team tourney.
Yeah, so one team's got a chance to kind of respond from that and kind of bring back. It makes sense that they're competing. More of a showcase for Matt and Nick at the start, but Hug turned the tide.
Yes, Taylor and Beretta took control.
And the crowd was a little bit quiet.
Well, good action in this one, but it wasn't anything special.
Yeah, shout out to Trent Beretta, who must have wrestled about 80% of this match.
At least 85 to 90% of the match. Then Chuck got the tag in and went for the hug.
Yeah, and hands in pockets, Orange Cassidy dived off the top onto the Young Bucks. It was a sight to be seen.
Yes, and then the super kick party turns the tide.
And then the 450 and moonsault by the Bucks for the win.
And then on to our next match is Britt Baker taking on Jamie Hayter. Baker is from Pittsburgh and a hometown crowd is definitely behind her.
Well, Hayter is B. Priestley's partner in Stardom. Given the story going on between Baker and Priestley, we could see some outside interference.
Well, Hayter hits a dreaded wet willy on Britt Baker. At least her ears will be clean. And one thing, AEW is smart about the fact that Britt Baker is over in Pittsburgh.
And unlike the other women's matches, the crowd hadn't dressed off for the match much, if at all.
Well, Baker picks up the win with the lockjaw, finger in the mouth and ear. And there were some violations in this match for sure.
Well, John Moxley versus Pac is up next. Pac didn't wait for his instruction. He hit Moxley in the back of the head with a chair and took him out before the match even started.
Yeah, then Pac has been in control for the majority of this match.
But Moxley hits a DDT on the apron and finally gets some momentum.
Pac hits a 450 on the floor. Ouch. And then the two men go back and forth and then the time limit runs out.
Well, time limit draw. Moxley drills the referee.
The crowd didn't love that at all. However, the ref bump gets them back to positive, and that's it. Show is over.
Well, the main event was good, and it left me wanting more. I mean, Pac looked great. I mean, for me, Moxley still needs to maybe do a little bit more. But if you're going to have a time limit, I don't mind that, because at least you've got kind of a rush towards the end then as well, and you've got kind of reasoning and how to go, and obviously not going to do it all the time, but it just kind of sets sail. Another great episode of Dynamite, and we move on to episode 5.
Yeah, that was on October the 30th, and the show opens with Tony Schiavone standing in front of a plane talking about tonight's contract signing.
Well, Dustin Rhodes gets out first, followed by Cody.
Well, they embrace and Dustin goes his own way as Tony and Cody walk off together talking about the match.
We get a video package covering the events leading up to the Full Gears matches between John Moxley and Kenny Omega, and Pac and Hangman Page follows, including a nice long segment where Moxley can't behind closed doors about his match being unsanctioned and not counting towards win-loss records.
Well, commentary hypes up tonight's events, Hangman Page versus Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, and it's a great match between these two men.
Well, Page ducks a back fist but eats a knee, rolling elbow, charge in, back body drop to the apron, gets him in position, buckshot Page wins.
Yeah, post-match Page gets on the mic and says things haven't been going real good for him lately, but tonight he feels good, and that Full Gear is going to do shit and take Pac's head off.
And so we go to a break.
And then we're back from commercial.
And we've got Hikaru Shida versus Shanna.
Well, off the rope, Shanna counters a kick, schoolboy pin gets a near fall, dragon suplex reversed again, victory roll pin, Shida Bailey kicks out, and then Shanna off the ropes, Shida ducks a lariat, running knee strike, Falcon Arrow, no, off the ropes.
And Hikaru Shida wins pinfall with a sliding knee.
Yeah, so not a bad match then. We get a weird Brandy Rose video package in which she puts on a tiny hat and has some magic mascara that makes her eyes glow, and she cuts a lock of blonde hair with a cleaver, and also Awesome Kong is there.
Very, very weird. Well, the Rock and Roll Express are introduced to talk up the history of the building. Santana and Ortiz blindside Ricky and Robert. They beat Ricky Morton down because, of course, they do. They hit him in the midsection with a sock for quarters. They powerbomb a 63-year-old Ricky Morton through the stage. The Young Bucks make the save, and we go to the break.
Well, back from commercial, and the Beaver Boys are chilling in the ring for some reason. Cut to Cody Rhodes and Tony Schiavone.
Well, Tony tells him a story about meeting Dusty Rhodes, baby, butt naked, and learning the star always comes out last. And Cody talks about how his mum is here tonight, and he can't stop thinking about how many times she saw his dad work.
Well, back to the ring, Rick and Mort introduce Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, who are dressed like them.
Well, Beaver Boys, Alex Reynolds and John Silver, and QT Marshall versus Best Friends, Chuck Taylor, Trent, and Orange Cassidy.
Well, jumping knee from Silver, blind tag, Trent hits a big knee of his own, soul food half and half combo on Reynolds. Orange Cassidy slides in the ring opposite Marshall and lays in short shin kicks, roll under lariat, no hands drop kick. Referee Bryce Remsburg puts his glasses back on him.
Off the ropes, no hands suicide dive, Best Friends have Silver. Best Friends and Orange Cassidy win by pinfall with a strong 0 from Best Friends on John Silver.
You wish it was Best Friends. Back from commercial, Chris Jericho makes an entrance and takes his seat for the contract signing. Cody Rhodes is shown pulling up in his limousine and takes his spot.
Well, Tony Schiavone introduces them and puts the contract in front of Cody. He signs and the contract is passed to Jericho, who fakes out a confrontation before saying the match is too important to flip or powerbomb Rhodes over. It is the biggest match in AEW history, the biggest pro wrestling match this year, and the biggest match of Cody's career, because if he wins, he'll be what he's always wanted, a world champion.
But if he loses, it might prove to Cody and all these millennial jackasses here tonight that he's not as good as he thinks he is. So he's not going to sign a contract and show Cody what it's like to be a loser. They get up and square up, and Chris puts over how serious they're treating this and offers Rhodes a hand. Cody shakes but refuses to let go and pulls him close.
Rhodes says something we can't quite hear, and Y2J takes his glasses off before saying he can be there all night, but he might be needed elsewhere. The screen behind him comes to life with Sammy Guevara before panning to Jake Hager beating Dustin Rhodes down and slamming him into a car.
We see a knee to the gentleman's area, and Jake slams Dustin's arm into the back door. Cody and MJF make the save.
Well, Chris Jericho smokes a cigar and jokes about how they take Dustin to hospital before bidding everyone a happy Halloween and driving off to send us to break.
Back from commercial, and it's time for the entrances.
We get a video package centred around Kenny Omega.
And then it's Kip Sabian and the Hybrid 2, Angelico and Jack Evans versus the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson.
Yes, and the heels start with a beatdown at the bell.
And Sabian mocking the Terminator dive off the ropes, and we get a Topo Congrio caught and countered into a powerbomb into the apron. Evans springballs into a super kick party.
Well, Kenny off the ropes, V-trigger electric chair.
And then the Elite win by pinfall with a one-winged angel from Kenny Omega on Jack Evans.
Well, the Bucks are confronted by Ortiz and Santana, who are masked and in the front row. They pull Matt and Nick in for a beatdown and run off before Kenny Omega can make the save, and that sends us to a break.
And back from commercial, the Librarians make their entrance.
The Librarians?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Peter Avalon shushes the crowd and says it's Halloween time, and that means it's appropriate for us hideous monsters to look the way we do. He and Leather Bates were at the university library today. They discovered that the place is rotten. John Moxley comes through the crowd to save us all. Paradigm shift.
Yeah, he gets on the mic and he says the match that everybody wants to see at Full Gear, Kenny Omega versus John Moxley, is now an unsanctioned match. That means no time limits, no countouts, no disqualifications. That's all well and good, but when they tell him that officially this match doesn't count and it'll be stricken from the record book, technically it will never have happened.
So in other words, when Mox beats your boy, we're going to pretend like it never happened. He knows what's happening. AEW want to treat him like a freak and an outsider and keep him in his little box. He's been dealing with this his whole life. These suits, these yes men puppets telling him he's a different kind of cat. Like he does it, he's being insulted.
Well, he ain't stupid, and this is how it's going to be. AEW can take their win-loss record and shove it up their ass, because the fact is, he's the baddest, sickest son of a bitch in this game, and there ain't a soul in AEW that can prove him wrong. They want unsanctioned, well, he's unsanctionable. You think he's out of control? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Be careful what you wish for, because at Full Gear he's going to beat Kenny Omega within an inch of his life. Beautiful wrestling violence like this hasn't been seen in this country for decades. A message for the ex-executives that don't want to sanction him. The same thing he'd tell anybody he doesn't like that he can... He's got a message for the executives that don't want to sanction him. The same thing he'd tell anybody that doesn't like the way he marches to his own drum. Kiss his ass and say the hell out of his way. And so we go to a break.
Wow, and that is a John Moxley we have all been waiting to see for a very long time. That was brilliant stuff. Brilliant promo by him, wasn't it, Dan? I know you were a fan of Ambrose in WWE. You've not really seen Moxley at his best yet, but that was him bringing it there tonight, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, he's good on the mic. I still don't really think that they should be constantly taking pop shots at WWE. I mean, you know, it is getting a bit sad and pathetic now. It's kind of like, really? Is that all you're concentrating on?
Well, it's weird because CM Punk did say that a couple of weeks ago, was that AEW need to concentrate on themselves rather than bashing WWE, and we have seen it quite a few times. But I think it's very enjoyable, the kind of action that we're seeing. The tag team tournament has been a pleasure to watch these past couple of weeks. And the final of that we will watch next week when we have NXT update. And of course that will be SCU versus the Lucha Bros, a match we're really looking forward to as well. But I think Dynamite has been really, really good. And I will say, I think it has been the best wrestling program this past month, and I'm gonna go out, and I don't think it's much of a limb there. I think AEW has really brought it, and build up to Full Gear has been great as well. And speaking of Full Gear, there will be a winner when Chris Jericho puts the AEW World Championship on the line against Cody at Full Gear on November 9th.
Yes, AEW say that a 3-judge panel will be counted upon should Jericho and Cody fail to have a fall within the 60-minute time limit. In the event the time limit expires, the judges will vote for who they believe won the match, and the results will determine the champion.
Well, the stipulation is a throwback to the old NWA. At the first Clash of Champions in 1988, Ric Flair and Sting went 45 minutes without a fall. From there, the NWA went to its ringside voting panel, which ruled it as a draw.
So the match went to a draw, and then they ruled it as a draw.
Yeah, so hopefully the judges won't do that this time round.
Well, there's 3 judges, so, you know, hopefully one of them won't be indecisive.
We'll go on to arrivals, and at Southside Wrestling event in Stevenage, England this weekend, Cody Rhodes announced that he had captured the signature of Anthony Ogogo, a former professional boxer and Olympic bronze medalist.
The 30-year-old picked up that medal in the London 2012 event, and he was undefeated as a professional until his 12th fight, where he picked up an eye injury and his loss to Craig Cunningham in 2016. After multiple surgeries, Ogogo was forced to retire in March this year, and he admits his desire to try out pro wrestling, saying, "I think for me it would tick so many boxes. I've been a massive fan for my entire life. I'm physically in the prime of my life."
Right. So he's been a massive fan of it. What, AEW?
Yeah, I guess wrestling, but...
Well, Ogogo had to retire from boxing. Ogogo had to retire from boxing due to an eye injury he suffered in his final fight in 20.
Yeah, he said, "I want to utilise all the years of hard work, all the time in the gym. I'm very fit, very athletic, and I think I'm going to watch this space."
Well, that was in July, so it's only taken a few more months for his dreams to be realised.
Well, Ogogo had an encounter with AEW star MJF at the Southside event, which he laid him out with a punch and told him he'd see him on Wednesdays.
It's unlikely we'll see Ogogo for a while, as Cody Rhodes has labelled him a developmental project. So the likes of Dean Malenko and AEW senior figures will be likely doing a lot of nurturing.
Yeah, some combat sport athletes take wrestling like a fish does to water. Take the likes of Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle, for example. So it'll be interesting to see Ogogo cope with the rigours and demands of the business. And that was boxing. We move on to MMA quickly, because at Bellator, and that was on Sky Sports at 2 a.m, it was Jake Hager's 3rd fight, and that happened last weekend.
Yes, he went against Anthony Garrett, and it ended in a no contest after a low blow by Hager. So he's kind of... You can take the man out of wrestling, but you can't take the wrestling out of the man.
Yeah, I mean, he'd already hit him in a low blow in the fight, and then he just did it again, and the referee was like, "Oh, come on, man." But he was lucky that he didn't rule against him, and it was a no contest. But the thing is, his problem now he's wrestling, he's got to try and keep the kind of gimmick alive. If he'd have been beaten, knocked out, then how's that going to look as someone's tough kind of bodyguard? You know, it's not going to make any sense. Anyway, that is AEW. We'll move on to SmackDown.
Yes, October 25th, WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Miz TV started the show with Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan and the SmackDown members of the Crown Jewel teams and Jimmy Hart in the ring. Hogan said that the two teams should have a 6-man tag match, but Sammy refused. Then Hogan made it the main event instead because apparently it's up to him. Sammy said he can't wrestle because he recently tweaked his neck, but Cesaro will be wrestling in his place. When Cesaro came out, it turned into a brawl.
First match, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler defeated a New Day. Ziggler hit a side fold and press on Big E for the win. After the match, Revival ran in and attacked a New Day, but Heavy Machinery made the save. Lucha House Party was backstage watching the whole thing on TV.
Well, coming back from the commercial, Michael Cole and Corey Graves talked about the possibility of Tyson Fury being injured, but Graves insisted that Fury will be at Crown Jewel.
Lacey Evans defeated Cameron Connors. Lacey Evans initially refused to fight her local opponent, calling her a nasty thing. Sheamus let herself get counted out, walking away from the ring as soon as the bell rang, but then ran right back in and hit the woman's right for the pin.
Nikki Cross talked from backstage to Michael Cole about how she's excited to face Bayley for the Women's Championship. She also acknowledged that her opponent tonight, Mandy Rose, is beautiful, but pointed out that this isn't a beauty pageant. It's Friday Night SmackDown.
We get a recap of Seth burning down the Firefly Funhouse, preceded by the new segment, which was Bray Wyatt proceeding over Rambling Rabbit's funeral. Then Bray kissed the rabbit's gory corpse and magically brought him back to life. Good as new. Mercy the Buzzard immediately killed Rambling Rabbit again.
Oh my God, they killed Ramblin'. Well, Drew Gulak attempted to continue his PowerPoint presentation about Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury before his match against Kalisto, but Kalisto dropkicked him.
Match 3. Kalisto with Grand Metalik and
Lince Dorado
defeated Drew Gulak. Braun Strowman came out and scared Gulak, giving Kalisto an opportunity to hit the Salida del Sol and get the pin. Then Braun beat up Gulak and cut a promo on Tyson Fury.
Michael Cole interviewed Daniel Bryan in the ring, asking him if the Yes Movement is back. Before he could answer, Shinsuke fucking Nakamura and Sami Zayn came out. Sami played a video of Bryan a few months ago saying that the Yes Movement is dead. Sami said the new Daniel Bryan is actually the real Daniel Bryan, and everything he said was true. Bryan then refused to shake Sami's hand, but left without saying.
Oh, and that was quite a good moment there. Will Bryan, find his true self again? Anyway, Nikki Cross defeated Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville. Nikki got the pin with a Fisherman neckbreaker. Bayley and Sasha Banks were on commentary for the match, and Bayley and Nikki had a stare down afterwards.
Cain Velasquez and Rey Mysterio came out to the ring together. Rey talked about when Brock Lesnar attacked him and Dominic. He said the strength Dominic showed left Rey with no doubt is a Mysterio. Sorry, Eddie.
That's a shame. He added that the next Thursday Brock will pay for what he did thanks to Kane, who will leave him a scar on the other side of his face. He called for Brock Lesnar to come out, but instead Lesnar and Paul Heyman appeared on a Titantron from somewhere backstage. Heyman did his usual bluster, teasing a question about what Lesnar has been doing and to who, which led to Lesnar revealing he had beaten and bruised Dominic. Rey and Kane ran towards the back.
Well, coming back from commercial, Kane and Dominic in a medical room, but Brock Lesnar ran in and attacked Kane with a trash can. Then he threw Rey into the wall, F5'd Kane onto Dominic, knocking them both to the floor.
Well, after the commercial, Cain Velasquez angrily yelled into a camera in Spanish about Brock Lesnar.
Well, match 5, and it was Roman Reigns, Shorty G and Ali with Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart. They defeated King Corbin, Shinsuke fucking Nakamura and Cesaro with Ric Flair and Sami Zayn. Roman Reigns hit the Superman punch and then the spear on Cesaro, then tagged in Ali, who looked very shocked when he received that tag, and hit him with a 450 splash. Did you see how shocked Ali looked when he received the tag? I don't think he was expecting it one bit.
Not at all. But what did you think of SmackDown?
There were some entertaining moments in it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Brock Lesnar and Velasquez can actually deliver at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, well, speaking of Crown Jewel, let's move on to, of course, we do a prediction league. Dan, do you want to explain to everybody what the prediction league is?
Yes, well, we have 3 prediction leagues. We have a WWE pay-per-view prediction league. We have an NXT pay-per-view prediction league. And we have a bonus prediction league, which all the points get added up into. And then it goes towards our point total at the end of the year.
NXT, we are level 4-4. Bonus points are 28 for 23 up. And for pay-per-views, it is 9-5. And that was after Hell in a Cell. So how did we do for Crown Jewel? Well, a 20-man Battle Royal kicked off the show's festivities with the winner receiving the opportunity to challenge AJ Styles for the United States Championship on the Crown Jewel main card. The competitors included Sunil Singh,
Mojo Rawley,
Eric Rowan,
R-Truth,
Sin Cara,
Brian Kendrick,
Titus O'Neill,
Tony Nese,
Akira Tozawa,
Shelton Benz, Buddy Murphy,
Andrade,
Drake Maverick,
Eric Young,
Luke Harper,
Cedric Alexander,
Heath Slater,
Humberto Carrillo,
and No Way Jose.
and what a huge talent was there. Dan, who did you go for in that one?
I went for the 311 boy, Andrade Cien Almas. And you, James?
I don't know if not predictions. I went for my man Buddy Murphy.
Well, the final four competitors were Harper, Rowan, Carrillo, and Alexander. So, none of our picks. The former Cruiserweight champion was first to be eliminated, leaving the outmatched Carrillo by his lonesome against the big men. On the floor, Truth rolled up Singh and won a 24/7 championship. Back inside, the former Bludgeon Brothers continued to punish Carrillo. Rowan eliminated Harper, though, and the Carrillo tossed him out to win the match and the title opportunity.
Well, up next, it's a WWE Championship match, and we're going to watch it right now. It's how the main show, Crown Jewel, kicked off. Dan, I went for, in this one, Cain Velasquez, because I thought to myself, how the hell? I mean, of course he's going to get the victory, isn't he? I mean, that's the obvious one. Who did you go for, Dan?
Well, it wasn't obvious to me, so I went for Brock Lesnar.
So, Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, we've both gone different. Let's see how it ends up.
So James, is this something that you're looking forward to? Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar? I know they're going to be kind of like a UFC fight, but will there be any wrestling whatsoever?
I don't know how they're going to play this one. It's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, they've brought Cain Velasquez up as a legitimate threat to Brock Lesnar. The question is, will he be that here tonight? How they wrestle, what Cain Velasquez has been doing in AAA is the Hurricane Runners and stuff, and I just don't see Brock Lesnar taking any of that here tonight. Well, it's good that the network's finally decided to start working after a while, but let's hope we don't get too many breaks. We're back in Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel. Kind of disaster zone for wrestling events these past couple of years. What are your thoughts on the Saudi Arabia shows?
They've been a bit hit and miss, I think. You know, they've not been the greatest. There's been far too much controversy, but I suppose where they've got like a 10-year contract, you just have to kind of push through and weather the storm.
Exactly. I mean, you got 100 million for this event, so it won't be too bad for them, and Lesnar gets a good reaction. And
Cain Velasquez gets a WWE Championship match in his first ever WWE match.
Yeah, I hate it, and even his looking at it. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of UFC. I watch it, but even that is not enough. I mean, the victory they're talking about with Velasquez happened 9 years ago now, so it's kind of ancient history, and I don't understand why he's coming out to Mysterio's entrance as well.
It's not. Mysterio's coming out first.
What did Velasquez come out as then?
He comes out to his own.
And of course, he's been so closely associated with Mysterio.
Because they're both Mexican?
Yeah, Mexican rules, I suppose.
So I don't know about you, but I can't help but think this is kind of building up to a Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio title match in the very near future.
Well, I would have completely disagree here. I would have thought Mysterio would have been cannon fodder to build up Cain Velasquez, but it's obviously that's the kind of way they're going now. Do you know what I mean? You know, with the kind of Mysterio being the one there standing tall. And with Velasquez, just so generic. I mean, he's signed a multi-year deal, and they're just not going to use him right. And he's coming out and trying, bless him, a little bit baby oil. And maybe it's a case of, Hogan, let's not forget, signed Ultimate Warrior to WCW to get his victory back, right? Because that was the only man he'd beaten, and that is fact. So a Warrior signed to a deal that cost loads of money to WCW just because Hogan wanted that. That was 20 years ago. Do you think Lesnar's got the pull and saying, look, let's have Velasquez here so I can get a victory back? Even if it's only in WWE, it's still a victory over Velasquez.
Well, I believe that's, but you've kind of gone differently. Do you think Velasquez is going to win to get the championship, or do you think he's going to win via DQ?
Well, prediction-wise, Velasquez, I went because I thought he'd win DQ. I thought they were building around Velasquez to do something,
So
maybe.
you wanted to go basically for a Brock Lesnar retains.
Well, I thought Velasquez maybe have the job done. Heyman would either do something toward him. Mysterio gets involved, disqualification, and then you can build up to, because it's too early, Don't get me wrong, both men have got loads of career accomplished.
Absolutely, yeah. NCAA Division 1 all-time American wrestler, most knockout victories in UFC history, UFC heavyweight history. And Cain Velasquez defeated Brock Lesnar to win the UFC heavyweight championship.
I like the fact it says Lesnar beat the Undertaker's undefeated streak as well, so that's bringing a bit to it. And Velasquez, I mean, what do you think of him, Dan? What do you think of his look and everything like this?
I would never have had him down as a UFC fighter. He looks like, I don't know. He's got a slight look of a wrestler.
He looks like Mysterio's uncle.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought this had brought over any UFC fans, still. Because they would have just gone wrestling. No, that's fake.
Yeah, same as with boxing and Fury.
Yeah, and I feel, well, maybe with that it might be a little bit more pageantry to it, but I think with this, if you're thinking it's going to be like a kind of real fight, whatever it is, I don't think that really works.
Well, Paul Heyman takes the mic off the announcer and announces his man, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
So why have you gone Lesnar for down on this one?
Well, basically, I think he's got Cain in just to get his victory back. It's something to help push Brock Lesnar over again.
There we go. The bell's going to ring.
They're both in their UFC gear, both with their UFC mitts on. So we can see some punches and some kicks, do you reckon?
Well, both men not giving anything in the early going.
Velasquez with a kick to the inside of the thigh to Brock Lesnar. Punch and a kick as well.
Well, Lesnar going to go for the first takedown. Puts Velasquez back in the corner, though.
Cain trying to fight out, but Lesnar's got the knees to the midsection.
And there's a clean break there off the corner. Both men still not really made the mark on the other one yet.
Came with another left-right combination, but Lesnar ties him up and backs him into the corner again. Velasquez has got it turned round, knees to the midsection, but Lesnar again turning it round. Cain Velasquez back in the corner. I don't think the referee's brave enough to get in and give him a rope break. But Velasquez with a punch and a kick to the head knocks Lesnar down.
And Velasquez now trying to mount him, trying to get the big rights and lefts off.
Well, Lesnar catches him, got the Kimura lock locked in.
Velasquez got nowhere to go at the moment. And Velasquez taps out. And just like that.
Just like that. What a waste of Velasquez. I mean, even if I was a fan of him, I would be upset. But even with that, it just makes you think, what the fuck? And Lesnar's still going to hold on.
Well, Rey Mysterio's got a steel chair in his hand because the other one's in a sling.
I didn't think it was going to go down like this, but Mysterio does get involved with the chair.
That's just pissed Brock Lesnar off, though. He grabs hold of Mysterio like a ragdoll, throws him to the outside. And now Brock's got the chair. Velasquez is prone in the ring.
Now Lesnar with 5 or 6 chair shots.
At least 7 or 8 to the back of Velasquez. It's Cain up on his shoulders. F5 onto the steel chair.
Mysterio with another chair. Crack to the back of Lesnar. Now both men are dueling. Lesnar trying to fight out. But Mysterio getting the better of Lesnar. Chair shot to the head. Goes to the hip. And now across the shoulders.
Well, this is payback not just for Velasquez, but for his son, Dolomit. And Mysterio
chases Lesnar off.
Who would have thought, Velasquez sacrificed for Mysterio. Dan, you get the point. What are your thoughts on the match?
Awful. It was pointless. There's no point bringing Velasquez in just for that. For an 88-second match.
I know. Do you think Velasquez goes away and then comes back and challenges Lesnar again?
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It's interesting to think what's going to happen. I'm still not sure. What a weird match that was.
Absolutely, yes. But we move swiftly on.
Yeah.
And it is on to the tag team turmoil to determine the best tag team in the world. Before we get on to it, prediction-wise, James?
Prediction-wise, I've gone for the New Day. Dan, who you gone for?
I've gone for Shane McMahon. And I'll tell you why. Because he wasn't in the Best in the World tournament last year and he won it. So Shane... No, I haven't. I have gone for the War Viking Raiders experience.
Alright, so let's see what happens. Well, the tag team tournament match to determine the best tag team in the world kicked off with former Raw tag team champions Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode battling Lucha House Parties, Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik.
Well, that leads the Lucha House Party to be eliminated. Former Raw tag team champions Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins entered next. A brief energetic burst by the babyfaces was negated by a zigzag from Ziggler that sent them right back to the locker room. Ryder and Hawkins eliminated.
Heavy Machinery was out next with Tucker and Otis looking to knock off the Hills. Otis finally received a tag and the big man fired up, uploading on the opposition and absorbing every blow from Rude. He tossed the former NXT champion across the ring and sandwiched both Hills in the corner. Before he could execute the Caterpillar, Ziggler pulled Rude to the floor. The Shafts were roared, Tucker bowling him over at ringside.
Well, back inside, Heavy Machinery delivered the compactor to score the win. That means Ziggler and Rude was eliminated. James's team, the New Day, entered next to a thunderous ovation complete with pyro. Former WWE champion Kofi Kingston withstood the power-based offences of Heavy to make the hot tag to Big E, who immediately fell prey to that same punishing offence.
Well, Kingston and Big E recovered and put Heavy Machinery away with a midnight hour for the win. Heavy Machinery were eliminated.
Well, the B teams Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas were next to enter the fray and enjoy some early success. New Day recovered though as Kingston wiped Dallas out on the floor. Big E finished Axel with a big ending for the win. B team eliminated.
Well, SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Revival hit the ring and suddenly the Gauntlet style match became a preview of the title bout on Friday's Fox broadcast.
An assisted vertical suplex by the Hills proved their downfall as Big E cut off Wilder, allowing Kingston to shift his momentum and score the win off a small Picage roll-up.
Well, after the match, Revival beat the Rivals down and dropped Kingston with a shatter machine, but the Rival are eliminated.
Up next was the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson arriving and set up Kingston for the Magic Killer. The former WWE champion escaped. A big kick to Big E took him off the apron. The Hills put Kingston down for the count. James's team, New Day, eliminated.
Well, the final team to enter the match was the Raw Tag Team Champions, Dan's team, the Viking Raiders.
I'm feeling confident now, baby. With Anderson down, Eric body slammed Ivor onto him. A distraction by Gallows allowed Anderson to send Eric into the corner. An assisted neck breaker and the Hills a count of 2. Moments later, the OC went back to the injured knee of Eric, fishing him off with the Magic Killer for the pinfall victory.
So, Anderson and Gallows defeated Dan's team. The Viking Raiders become the best tag team in the world. It means neither of us get a point.
At least the Viking Raiders are the second best tag team in the world.
The penultimate best tag team. Yeah. Up next is Mansoor versus Cesaro. Dan, who have you gone for?
Obviously, I've gone for Mansoor.
Yeah, me too, Mansoor. Rehadi's own Mansoor, winner of the largest battle royal in WWE's history at Super Showdown in June, battled Cesaro in the biggest match of his young career.
Mansoor delivered a big moonsault and secured the win.
But Cesaro is a freak miracle worker. Give him a world title now and let him steal every show he's in ever, because he took a rookie with very little significant ring title to his name, helped him achieve a brilliantly structured match here, and put him over as the underdog hometown hero he was.
Absolutely. So basically Cesaro's living up to the hype that we've delivered to him years ago. So yeah, catch up. And we wrestling world.
Both get a point and it's 2-1 at the moment. And I'll tell you something, Tyson Fury's entrance was actually spectacular. I mean, the amount of fireworks and everything like that coming out in the Saudi Arabia kind of robes. Why is he dressed as a basketball player for his actual match? I'm not sure, but he's come out and it's been an entrance. So up next, it's that. I have gone for Tyson Fury in this match. Dan, who have you gone for?
I have gone too for Floyd Mayweather to beat the Big Show. Oh, sorry, no, I've gone for Tyson Fury to beat Braun Strowman. So the undefeated linear heavyweight boxing champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. So do you reckon this is going to be a one and done thing for the Gypsy King in WWE, James?
I don't know, it depends how well he does. You know, we've seen Velasquez not working out earlier. And with a boxer with straight up match, you don't usually see that kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how Fury gets on. And he says if he goes to boxing and gets knocked out, then, you know, where's his head been at recently?
Well, according to my sources, Tyson Fury has actually been working well in the Performance Centre for WWE.
But, you know, his main focus should be boxing like everybody else is saying. He's got a Christmas single with Robbie Williams coming out. So, you know, he's got a reality show in the works. He's been doing all the media for WWE. So, you've got to wonder where he is in that way if you want a Fury Wilder match. As for Braun Strowman, it was exciting around on SmackDown, kind of bringing it around. Obviously, the Gypsy King here. I mean, he's a figure that's changed in the public light, especially in the UK. Very disliked and then kind of turned a corner.
Well, yeah, he turned it around. I think, you know, when he came back from he was battling a few mental health issues, kind of turned himself around. He went from being overweight to being svelte in a matter of minutes. And came back and got himself a victory. So, you know, I think he's a likeable character, even though he can be a dick.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And Strowman, and again involved in a high-profile match in Saudi Arabia, doesn't look like he's going to come off with victory.
No, again with Strowman, I don't think he's done too much since he won the greatest Royal Rumble, to be honest.
Fury there with a nip up.
Shoulder tackle takes Strowman down, but eats a big boot. There's nowhere near his head, but we'll overlook that one.
This feels like they're going through every single spot they practiced early in the day.
Well, this is kind of like your basic wrestling. Like, you're not going to see anything out of the ordinary. But Strowman's kind of got the better of Fury now. Got him down, a kick to the chest.
Strowman is borderline sunburn. He's got to be careful.
Well, that's his Texas tan there, James. Punches and headbutts in the corner, though. Fury back up to his feet.
The referee's got a really big job in this one as well, to try and keep telling Fury the story of the match.
Oh, Strowman comes charging in. Fury moves out the way, and Strowman hits nothing but the ring post. Side. He's going to do his 1 round thing.
And Fury with a kick to Strowman's head.
I suppose Tyson Fury not used to using his feet.
Yeah, he's a bit surprised he's not using his hands as much. And,
Strowman catches him, sends him back first. And a right hand knockout blow.
Michael Cole's got a lot better at his job, especially letting the people know when a move's actually meant to be something,
Yeah, well, Fury get back to his feet. Strowman running laps around the ring. Going to come charging in, but Tyson with a kick drops Strowman down, using his momentum against him. And Fury's getting himself fired up. I think Fury has actually got what it takes to be a WWE wrestler. He's certainly got the talk.
Yeah.
Obviously, his in-ring action could be worked on.
Well, when you think the only form of training he's had is the past 6 months, it's give him a year in the performance centre, especially kind of getting into the shape as well. Like you said, the promo's already there. He's only 31, so
yeah.
If he does want to do this, plus he can be a special attraction as well. As he goes for a right hand, and Strowman dodges it,
catches him up, turns this into a proper wrestling match now. But Fury with the backslide pushes Strowman against the ropes. Drop toe hold. We're going to see a 619 nope. Strowman back to his feet. Big boot from Fury.
Fury first cover of the match. And I never thought I'd see the day that Tyson Fury would go for a cover in a WWE ring.
And arguing with the ref because it's only a 2 count.
2.
He certainly has got what it takes. It wouldn't surprise me if Fury goes into acting in a few years' time.
There's definitely something about him.
And he's already better than the Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir. And they've been in the performance centre for ages.
Well, the thing is that the crowd are watching this as well. They might not be shouting, but everybody's involved in it. And Strowman sends Fury back into the corner.
He's clubbing blow to the chest of Fury, knocks him down. Oh! Someone's been trained by The Undertaker as he does a sit-up.
Well, Fury back to his feet.
Strowman comes charging in. Fury with his foot up this time, though. Running crossbody, I presume, and gets caught. Strowman slams him to the mat. He's got some good selling going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's already doing better than Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, without doubt. The Fury gets to the outside. You forget Fury is such a big man as well. I mean, Braun Strowman is 9 stone heavier than Fury. And Fury said when he was out of shape, he was the same weight as that. And now Strowman's going to look to use the extra bulk.
Is he going to be able to run the ring this time? Fans want it. Do you want it, James?
Well, we're going to see it.
Whether I want it or not, it's irrelevant. And this time, hitting its mark. TARDIS.
That's probably the toughest bump he's taken all night. And here comes Braun again.
He's going to go for a second time round. Ooh, boom. Runs right through. I'm not quite sure who the face and who the heel is in this match, though.
Yeah, because Strowman's acting really facey.
But you would have thought that Fury's the face. He's got really skinny legs, isn't he, Fury?
Well, Strowman's getting up on the ring apron. Oh!
A huge right hand. Straight to the jaw of Strowman.
And Braun Strowman might be knocked out there.
I don't want to go to school today, Mommy.
And the referee counting.
Tries to get up to his feet, stumbles over. 10.
And Tyson Fury beats Strowman by, I think knockout. I mean, count out. It was a count of 10 that was heard after the right hand. Fury wins. Not a bad match, was it?
No, it wasn't. Not bad at all. I think Fury done well. I think this was better than the Velasquez-Lesnar match for the pure simple reason that Strowman, I think he can carry a an opponent like an amateur and make them seem more better. I think, he'd have had an even greater match with Cesaro.
Oh, I think without a doubt, and maybe we'll see something down the line. Would you want to see Tyson Fury again?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Oh, wait a minute, Braun Strowman's not happy.
Well, Fury celebrating, power slam to Fury. The Strowman rips his shirt off.
Well, he loses another big match, but he still has a last laugh here, and is the battle over between the two?
Well, AJ Styles defended his United States Championship against the Royal Rumble winner Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, and who did you go for in this match?
I went for the phenomenal AJ Styles.
And I too went AJ Styles, and for the second time this week, Humberto Carrillo shared the ring with AJ Styles. This time Lowe squared off with a phenomenal one for the United States Championship in what amounted to the most significant match in his young WWE career.
The Superstars teased the Styles clash from the ropes, but Carrillo fought out. A sunset flip gave way to Styles, uncorking a series of strikes and a big lariat clothesline for another near fall. Carrillo recovered and delivered an enziguri. He missed a moonsault but landed on his feet, which tweaked the knee that had proved problematic throughout the match.
A shot to the face and a phenomenal forearm by Styles earned in the win, and thus the points. And after Fury and Braun, it's 3-2. It's now 4-3 after AJ Styles' title match. And next match is Natalya versus Lacey Evans.
Yes, for the first time ever, two women squared off in Saudi Arabia as Natalya and Lacey Evans rekindled their rivalry. Accompanied to the squared circle by tremendous fanfare, an enormous display of pyro, and a genuine emotion, they exchanged a handshake and proceeded to make history.
I went for Natalya in this match. Dan, who did you go for?
I too went for Natalya.
Well, a chant of women's wrestling could be heard permeating through the applause that Evans downed Natalya with a Cobra clutch.
After another high-risk manoeuvre failed, Natalya blasted her with a discus clothesline and trapped Evans in the sharpshooter. The Queen of Hearts tapped her out for the big win.
When the competitors raised other arms and embraced in the centre of the ring after the bell, as pyro erupted from the top of the stadium, and it means it's 5-4 after that one as well, leading into Team Hogan versus Team Flair.
Well, Team Flair consists of King Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, Shinsuke fucking Nakamura, and Drew McIntyre.
And ever Team Hogan was Roman Reigns, Rusev, Ricochet, Shorty G, and Ali.
And it's all for bragging rights in a monumental tag team match. So, James, I don't even need to ask, because a team that contains Drew McIntyre, you would have gone for Team Flair.
I went for Team Hogan, and Dan, it seems weird to have to ask you, because the team consisting of your man, Randy Orton, obviously you went Team Flair.
I went Team Hogan.
So we both went Hogan.
Yes.
Great.
Well, the heavyweights unloaded on each other with rights and lefts before Lashley dumped Rusev. A Superman punch by Reigns to Lashley sent the heel to the floor. The big dog took flight, soaring over the top rope and wiping everyone out at ringside.
Orton caught Reigns with a kick to the head and executed an RKO off the rebound. Reigns, though, kicked out to the shock of the crowd.
And me too. The baby faces exploded, unleashing high-flying moves to the heels en route to Reigns, dropping Orton with the spear for the win.
Yeah, yeah, Reigns beat Orton. So that means after that it's 5-6 heading into our main event for the Universal title. What do you think of the match, though?
I thought it was quite entertaining. There was a few good moments. I did like the RKO. You know, you can never not like an RKO in a match.
Yeah, if one thing WWE does consistently great these days, it is the multi-man tag team match, and this was no different.
Up next, we've got a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Universal title. Seth Rollins versus Bray the Fiend Wyatt.
Yeah, so Dan, who have you gone for in this match?
I have gone for and new Universal Champion, The Fiend.
The Fiend! Oh, so I've still got a chance to get back in it, because I've gone Seth frickin' Rollins. Why do you think The Fiend's going to win this one?
I think it's a bit of redemption. They want something to talk about while in Saudi Arabia as well, and Bray Wyatt winning against Seth Rollins, it's the only way.
Well, the red hue, which I hate, and the Hell in a Cell match, which was awful. We're going to see if this can be any better. And they've just been brawling along.
Well, at least they've not got maggots and things projected onto the ring, so, you know, it could be a lot worse.
First curb stomp.
And Bray Wyatt just pops straight back up to his feet. Uranagi onto the edge of the ring apron.
And Bray's just taking a seat while he's waiting for Seth to recover.
Well, the wafer thin protective matting has been pulled back, and Bray Wyatt looks to deliver a Sister Abigail to a prone Seth Rollins.
Well, he does this. Surely it's over.
Well, don't call me Shirley, but Seth manages to fight out. Hits an enziguri. Bray is rocked as Seth picks up the steel stairs. And the Fiend dropped down to one knee after 3 shots to the head. Seth got him lined up. Is he going to hit another stomp? Boom. Onto the exposed concrete floor. Into the cover. 1, 2... No! The Fiend managing to kick out.
Now Seth's got the chair, just wearing out the Fiend.
Well, Seth with a chair in hand jumps off the edge of the ring apron and just plants it onto the top of the head of the Fiend. So, James, 3 members of the former Wyatt family have all been involved in matches and lost. So you think this is not going to be a good night for the Wyatt family?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I don't think they know what they're doing with the Fiend. And how can a SmackDown superstar win the Universal title? That would be madness.
Oh, wow. Seth Rollins comes charging towards the Fiend, but gets caught with a Sister Abigail onto some staging area. Why is that random stage placed there?
I don't know why. I don't know why. Referee goes for the count, but Seth Rollins managed to kick out. Maybe that's the stages to divide the rich people with the poor people.
Yes, the men and the women. Well, the Fiend does certainly seem unbeatable. I mean, the only way Seth Rollins managed to stop him last time was with a bear shots and sledgehammer shots in a match that people thought was awful, me included. But why has it taken so many tries to get Bray Wyatt right?
Because WWE have never gone for him fully. They've always been the guy who jobs out in the big matches. It happened when he first came in. Against John Cena and stuff like that at WrestleMania. He lost that one. Even with a Randy Orton feud, he came out a loser in the end, you know. So it all shows that he just never really had faith. And with the Fiend, they fucked up again at Hell in a Cell. And if they try and make things right tonight, it does make sense from a storyline perspective now. The Fiend should have been kept out of the Universal title picture until, you know, win the fucking Royal Rumble, saying, come out number 1, show how dangerous you are. But it's WWE hot-shotting it and thinking, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
But now they're going up on the staging. Staging. Spice.
Well, the Fiend certainly has got the upper hand in this match thus far. Seth staggers towards the edge of the staging area.
It must be at least a 20 feet drop.
At least 25 foot. And looks like the Fiend going through his mind, but Seth managing to fight out with a flurry of elbows to the ear. Kick to the midsection. A stomp on the stage. 3rd stomp of the match.
I mean, that as a finisher is just useless now.
Yeah, and the Fiend bounces up, runs into a super kick. A 2nd one, and a 3rd super kick to the jaw. The Fiend is rocked into a stomp. Trying to get to his feet. A 5th stomp, and is still not putting the Fiend down. The 3rd one in a row.
Now Seth again, like the 12th foot stomp. What was this count on this one?
39.
40th. The crowd showing their appreciation by booing.
Burn it down.
And
Trying to get the fans back on side.
Not working. You're going to try and put Bray away.
Another stomp. Number 8 for the match. I think it's the 5th he's done in a row. Bray's not staying down. So to the head.
And like 2 super kicks in a row. It'll be 3rd time lucky for Seth.
Oh, fucking hell. Super kicks Bray into like some electrical equipment. The sparks go off. Fires around as well.
Well, did he send the Fiend to hell? Must be ruled as a no contest and Rollins wins.
Oh, don't.
Well, it looks that way.
Well, Seth trying to find his victim. More sparks going off. I think one of them hits Seth in the eye. And the Fiend is behind Rollins. He's got a mandible claw locked in.
And now Seth in serious trouble.
Sister Abigail on the outside. To a cover. 1, 2, 3. And your new Universal Champion, The Fiend.
Well, my God, Dan, you got it right. The Fiend comes through. Wins the Universal Championship for Seth Rollins. I mean, the spark at the end, it was nowhere near his face. Come on.
No.
The Fiend, well, I don't know, Dan, what do you think of that match?
The Fiend looks like someone who is beatable. Is it too late now? We've seen Bray Wyatt beatable. So, you know, what's going on? Me, personally, I can see it leading to a Fiend versus Demon King match down the line in a year or so, maybe at WrestleMania.
It'll be interesting to see what they do now with the Fiend. The character's still there to be saved, but they're still, for me, not going about it the right way. But he wins the championship. What more can you say, you know? What was your... after that, you get the points. You went outright, Dan, which is good for you. You get another point. And it ends 7-5. So it means you get a pay-per-view point. And it means it goes 9-6 now. You're catching up with only 2 pay-per-views left. So 9-6 now. But hopefully only 2 pay-per-views left. It means I've still won that outright. But all the points matter towards the end. And The Fiend has won tonight. What was your match of the night, Dan?
I would have to say it was the Fury versus Strowman match, or either that or the Mansoor versus Cesaro match, because, you know, Cesaro worked his arse off. But the better surprising match was the Fury versus Strowman match. I think, you know, Tyson Fury, being the amateur that he is, managed to deliver a half-decent match.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you there by going for Fury's match of the night. What is your score out of 10?
I'm going to give it half. It wasn't great. There was some pointless, stupid moments in it, i.e. the first match, but there was some very good moments in it as well. So you can't really complain too much.
No, I completely agree with you. Give it 7.5. It was better than I thought, but I will probably never watch it again. I might watch the Fury match. Actually, I don't know. I probably won't watch any of it again. So, but 7.5 is not bad for a Saudi Arabia show, considering I think the last one got 5. So we'll see what happens. Move on now to SmackDown afterwards, and SmackDown was always going to be interesting on November 1st because it's roughly 14 hours worth of air travel away from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which is where Crown Jewel event took place.
Well, everyone figured we'd be getting a tired group of wrestlers due to an undisclosed issue. We might not even get that.
Well, Wrestling Observer and PW Insider are both reporting that a large number of talent who work for Crown Jewel were stuck in Saudi Arabia early in the morning. Dave Meltzer, Dan's mate, wrote that the issue of the plane, it was chartered to get there from Middle East to Northeast United States or weather related. Mike Johnson of Inside, on the other hand, wrote that there was an issue with the plane's fuel line, but they'd be heard that there were other issues as well.
Well, the latter account included that because the people on the plane had cleared customs already, they'd been forced to remain on the plane while the issues were being addressed. That was 7 hours as of Johnson's report.
Well, both sites say they were able to get a handful of people en route using a different plane. Meltzer puts the number at 12 wrestlers, probably talent who advertised in advance for the SmackDown, like new Universal Champ Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, and Revival of New Day. He also says Vince McMahon flew out separately, presumably without issue.
On his private jet.
Yeah.
A second post on Insider updates a situation to say a majority of the talent who worked yesterday's show are not travelling at all today and have been booked into hotels for another day in Riyadh. Well, at least another day, writes, he's been told there's no word yet on when they are leaving to return to the US. This report goes on to echo Meltzer's report saying WWE is trying to get wrestlers who are absolutely necessary for SmackDown en route to the States, and that everyone at all levels of the company are upset about the situation.
Well, in likely event, these issues lead to some of Crown Jewel being unavailable for Buffalo. WWE have some options. Obviously, most of the women's roster wasn't in Saudi Arabia. Same goes for several men who, for various reasons, declined or unable to work the show on the company's 10-year deal, like Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. There's also a chance they could bring some NXT talent, something which might make sense more that the brand has been added to the promotion for the Survivor Series on November 24th.
Well, here's hoping everyone gets back to the States safe and sound, whether they make it to New York in time for a show or not.
It should be a wild ride. So, Dan, it's now time for your
SmackDown summary. Well, we start off with Brock Lesnar quitting SmackDown to get his hands on Raw's Rey Mysterio. Heyman stood in the ring with Brock Lesnar and showed the fans the events of WWE Crown Jewel, where the Beast Incarnate made Cain Velasquez tap out and then got attacked by Mysterio. Because Vince McMahon refused demand to send Mysterio to SmackDown, Heyman announced Lesnar was quitting the blue brand to get his hands on the master of the 619 on Raw. So that kind of closes up the Bray Wyatt taking.
So Bray Wyatt moves to SmackDown, and then Brock Lesnar's.
Well, Bray Wyatt was on SmackDown.
Oh, so Bray Wyatt stays Universal. But they've got to change the Universal title now.
Universal title is now on SmackDown, and the WWE Championship's on Raw.
You change colour though to blue, don't red. Yeah, what would you do? Would you change colour? Yeah, I would have got to put blue on it.
Well, we had the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley with Sasha Banks going against Nikki Cross. The match was okay, I suppose. Bayley defeated Cross by pinfall to retain the Women's Championship, but afterwards Shayna Baszler stormed the ring, threw Banks into the steel post before planting Bayley with a running knee, and she walked out through the crowd with her NXT Women's Championship.
Wow, our favourite has arrived on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler. I'm glad she's getting exposure, aren't you?
Absolutely, yes. Well, I would like to say that's the end of the annoying talent coming across, but Sami Zayn's mouth gets him into a fight with Matt Riddle and Keith Lee.
Oh, Matt Riddle, bro. Flip-flops and all, wasn't it?
Yes, James. Flip-flops as well.
Yeah, basically they chased the critic of critics into the ring. The original Bro connected with a Bro Derek before the Limitless one hit a moonsault.
I don't mind Keith Lee being involved. I don't mind him at the moment. So obviously they've gone for NXT route for SmackDown.
They have, yes. Tommaso Ciampa invades Miz TV, and then that turns into the Miz versus Ciampa. Yeah, basically the Miz talked up Bray Wyatt's win at Crown Jewell, but
Decided he couldn't just talk about his absentee guest. He turned to the arrival of NXT this week, and Tommaso Ciampa interrupted Miz TV, called the A-lister everything that is wrong with WWE. This turned quickly into a match while Tommy Entertainer got the early advantage. The most must-see WWE superstar found an opening when he injured the knee of Ciampa off a dive. Ciampa caught Miz with a knee, then connected with the fairy tale ending for the victory. There was a few sloppy moments, but overall it was actually a very good match. And yeah, what more can I say? Fire and Desire squared off against Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox.
What?
Yeah, Rhea Ripley and Tegan Nox arrived as a surprise replacement for opponents for Fire and Desire. The NXT stars quickly fired up and dominant. They quickly took Deville out of the action when Nox connected with the shiniest wizard to set up the elevated inverted cloverleaf for the submission. Ripley and Nox get the victory there. I don't know how to put this, but it's NXT champion Adam Cole,
Baby.
going against Daniel Bryan.
Dream match. Dream match. It's a dream match on SmackDown.
It is indeed, yes. Well, Daniel Bryan ran into Triple H and Shawn Michaels backstage, asking them why they were here. Triple H stated he came to SmackDown after the announcement that NXT would be competing at Survivor Series. Bryan challenged the game. Instead, he announced Bryan versus Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. So Daniel Bryan could be the NXT champion.
Yeah.
How fucking mad would that be?
I love the fact he challenged Triple H because there's still beef between them after all these years. You know, I feel that's quite cool.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the King of Kings and HBK watched from ringside as the Planet's champion, gave the leader of the Undisputed Era a fight unlike he had ever faced before. It was a high-risk and physical contest where Bryan brutalised Cole at every turn. All that pressure built to the Planet's champion, trapping the NXT champion in the label. Cole barely got to the ropes. Cole managed to catch Bryan with the Panama Sunrise into the last shot for the victory.
Wow. So Adam Cole beat Daniel Bryan clean.
As a whistle.
I know, statement of intent there.
But what I would love to say is that was an absolute fucking amazing match. And even better that the main event was supposed to be Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin.
It just takes bad travel issues for WWE to actually put on a good show.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then afterwards, they all got in the ring. Triple H, Michaels with the NXT talent, and said the takeover is going to happen. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting with NXT. It's just a shame it's not its strongest roster. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
But SmackDown again was enjoyable this week. Now we move on to news. Bischoff opens up on brief SmackDown tenure.
Well, Eric Bischoff is back in WWE, but apparently it wasn't better than ever. The company announced last week that Bruce Pritchard was taking over the executive director role. Bischoff was given just a scant 4 months ago, and that Bischoff was no longer with the company at all.
Well, in the latest episode of his 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff discussed his tenure and disappointment about his departure.
I was really grateful for the opportunity to work at WWE, and it was an opportunity. Bischoff said per Pro Wrestling Sheet, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. It clearly didn't work out the way McMahon wanted it to work out, but that happens. I'm not taking any of it personally. Professionally, I'm taking a hard look at it and thinking it through.
Well, Bischoff had stepped away from the day-to-day wrestling grind after his stint with TNA ended in 2014. He said he also viewed running SmackDown as a short-term endeavour and acknowledged he faced an uphill battle changing the status quo.
Well, I didn't come here thinking I was going to be in WWE for 5 or 10 years. I looked at it as a relatively short-term opportunity, meaning 2 to 3 years, Bischoff said. But I didn't think it would be quite this short term, but sometimes that happens.
Well, I took this job. I knew what the odds were, Bischoff added. I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. Not going to lie. I am disappointed. I would have liked to have met Vince McMahon's expectations and would have liked it for us to be a longer run than it was. I'd be completely dishonest if I didn't admit that, but at the same time, I'm not completely surprised either.
Well, whatever vision Bischoff did have for SmackDown, it never appeared on the screen. While Paul Heyman has taken a more hands-on role with Raw, there have been signs of his involvement, albeit sporadic ones. SmackDown appeared to be treading water for months ahead of its Fox debut.
Well, Pritchard has long been a close confidant of McMahon, so was whatever Pritchard had in mind going forward would be Vince's brainchild for better or for worse.
Well, 2K problem.
Well, the good news is WWE and 2K released WWE 2K20.
The bad news is those clips you may have seen floating around from advanced copies gaming influencers got their hands on, they may actually be indicative of what the quality of WWE 2K20 hashtag fix WWE 2K20 has been trending on Twitter, and it's certainly not what anyone involved in creating and promoting the game wanted.
No, and some of them have been hilarious, Dan. We've seen them online, and it's a shame. But again, you keep bringing out the same product year after year just with a roster. Just have a roster update and pay a certain amount online to have that and keep the same game. Of course they won't, because they want the £50 in their pocket as well.
Yeah. Well, good Evans.
Evans worked her way up to the top of the women's division very quickly on the main roster, and Sonya Deville thinks she knows why.
Well, Lacey Evans has faced the wrath of Sonya Deville in a social media spat. After calling out Evans in a promo directed mainly at Lynch, Evans responded on social media by saying Deville shouldn't run her mouth, as she's main evented both Raw and pay-per-view events, while Deville hasn't done either.
Deville's response was firing. She launched a scathing accusation at the sassy Southern Belle, stating that as if she went about it the same way Evans does.
Well, that's a reference to the gossip that Evans was doing sexual backstage favour for some higher-ups in WWE to advance her position, despite having a husband at home.
Vince McMahon has been known to push blondes to the top pile in the past, such as Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair, and Evans noted that in her dig back at Deville, but Sonya landed the fatal blow.
Well, Sonya Deville has landed some brutal blows to Lacey Evans' character on social media. In a reply that's garnered 6,000 likes, Deville stated that the difference between the two may be the fact that Evans is swallowing something else, which is another sexual innuendo that suggests Evans is helping out some of the people that make the decisions in the company.
Of course, the fans that might be worked to shoot with this interaction on Twitter, but there could very well be elements of truth to it all.
Well, we go on to the biggest news story.
Yeah, well, WWE released a lot of new merchandise with NXT going live in 2 hours, and an official shirt with Miles' name on looks like it depicts the blackface, which is a form of theatrical makeup from centuries ago and is seen as highly offensive.
Well, Jordan Miles put on Twitter, I will keep posting this till my voice is heard. I'm not sorry for anything I say or do. Representation is important. If this is Vince McMahon and Triple H's vision of me, then a slap in the face to every African-American performer, fan and supporter.
Well, even though the shirt had been pulled from sale, Miles is continuing to let his voice be heard on social media.
Miles is even going as far as saying the higher-ups in WWE will learn to regret the decision to let it be designed and put on sale, which seems to indicate he's going to take legal action.
Even former WWE Star MVP has reached out to Miles to speak to him about what's going on. You can imagine there's going to be a strong fan backlash over what has transpired.
It's not often you see superstars publicly lambast huge figures such as Vince McMahon and Triple H, but it's happened and it will be very interesting to see the response.
Well, WWE have released an official statement regarding their controversial T-shirt from Jordan Miles. The promotion claims that Miles was well aware of the shirt as Miles approved the T-shirt for sale.
WWE added that they work collaboratively with their superstars and ensure to get input and approval before proceeding with any merchandise.
Well, the full statement reads:
Albert Hardy Jr., aka Jordan Miles, approved this T-shirt for sale. As always, we work collaboratively with all our performers to develop logos and merchandise design and get their input and approval before proceeding. This was the same process with Albert, and we responded swiftly with one. He later requested that the logo/T-shirt be redesigned. No T-shirts were sold.
Well, Miles took to his Twitter account over the weekend to bring attention to the racially sensitive design. He had accompanied his tweet with a caption reading, "I will keep reading this post till my voice is heard. I'm not sorry for saying anything I do." He then urged fans to protest the INW's mentality by turning their profile pictures black and white and using the hashtag for the culture.
After WWE issued a statement attempting to absolve themselves of culpability with regards to the Jordan Miles t-shirt design, Miles and many others saw as an evocative way of blackface and minstrelsy. Saying the NXT wrestler himself approved the design, Miles has responded.
He tweeted a confirmation he had approved the design, but said he was showed the logo on a white shirt. When placed on a black background, as it was being sold on WWE.com, Miles wrote that you can see the racist intentions that has since been deleted.
Well, still up is a post with an email allegedly from WWE Creative Services talent coordinator Baker Landon responding to Miles that indicates their boss, NXT headman Paul Triple H Levesque, wanted the design. Jordan Miles said, "When I originally saw the design, I was uncomfortable. Rather than addressing the issue, I decided to counter-offer with another."
Baker Landon lied to my face as it's designed, so my hands were tied. I spoke with Triple H in person. His impression was I approved it. Don't believe me? Email him and ask him yourself.
Miles then tweeted his thoughts on the entire WWE system, including calling out their rehiring and use of Hulk Hogan, after a tape was released of the Hall of Famer admitting he was racist and issuing what many felt was a self-serving locker room apology. Miles also posted, then deleted a not safe for work video clip where he paraphrased Khan's critique of President George W. Bush's response to the impact Hurricane Katrina had held on New Orleans' black population.
He said the whole WWE system is fraud. They created this system where you can't trust anyone. You go cold. You grow apart from what you love the most. The fact that Hulk Hogan is still employed after giving the locker room an apology for being caught says enough. # for the culture.
Finally, he tweeted and deleted a message slamming his former company Ring of Honor. Fuck Ring of Honor.
They only allowed one African American to be the top guy, while guys like Cedric Alexander, TD, and Malcolm Bevins and myself had to chase a visible carrot stick.
Name another African American who has reached great heights and there other than this Uncle Tom.
He included a picture of Jay Lethal under this tweet to illustrate the Uncle Tom he was apparently referring to.
Well, these were some pretty heavy bombs to drop on Ring of Honor. Jordan Miles is still employed by WWE, but if that ever changes, he might have some issues returning to Ring of Honor after making this statement.
And while he hasn't been on Twitter since yesterday, he did post an Instagram with a lengthy statement on October 29th. This comes after his tweets from Sunday and Monday brought a flood of reactions from fans and industry veterans like Titus and Booker T.
He went on to say, "My tweets yesterday were completely disrespectful and were unprofessional. Time to snatch plates from those who have been eating for far too long, always gets seconds, while guys like myself have to eat crumbs from the floor like an unwanted child." Beyond their initial statement, WWE has not commented on the situation. Further, Ring of Honor and Lethal have not commented at all. So, James, your pick, Jordan Miles, won't be around for too much longer.
Look, it all started with... It didn't start too badly for him, all right? You know, the tweet... To do it out in public seems a bit weird, but even then, he kind of had a higher ground, and then he just must have thought, "Oh, fuck it, I'm going to go for Ring of Honor, I'm going to go for Jay Lethal, you know, all these other guys," and it's got a bit out of control. But if WWE fire him now, are WWE right to fire him now?
I don't know. You know, again, you know, they might not fire him, but I'm sure he won't be appearing on NXT TV. They can contractually keep him wrestling, not to sound insensitive, but wrestling duck match.
Yeah.
And, you know, possibly end up on main event fighting the likes of Mojo Rawley.
Yeah. But I think the problem is the fact of, you know, people say who can talk about it? Can we talk about it even though we're not black? And the thing is that's why the people have asked Booker T, and even Booker T's statement was like, well, why are you asking me for it? Just because of that. There's no doubt. I remember Teddy Long on one of the Legends of Wrestling talking about there were certain wrestlers, black wrestlers, that only wanted the one spot for themselves. I don't think Jay Lee... I've not been up to date with Ring of Honor, so I can't say much about that. But what I can say is that, you know, WWE... to go against them is going to be, you know, it's difficult enough, as we well know. And, you know, but sometimes you have to pick your battles. And I think the apology, he's hoping things go down. I mean, people like Leah Rush has said in stuff like this. But when you bring race into it, it's a really difficult situation, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. But again, you know, it's quite a crazy thing because, you know, during a recent England match against Bulgaria...
Yeah.
There was racial comments towards, you know, a black England player. And Stan Collymore was pissed off because he's a black footballer himself, or ex-footballer. he received an email from the BBC saying, "Can you come on our show tomorrow to talk about racism in football?" And he's like, "Well, what? You only want to know me because I'm a black former footballer?" You know, so it's like there's it's a very sensitive subject.
Yeah.
You know, still going on to this day. You know, it's something that I don't think should be an issue. You know, not in the fact of that. I mean, you know, it's something that us as people should have grown out of by now.
Yeah, I think without doubt, and I think it's just when you look at, you know, how many black champions in WWE, you know, there might be an issue there, but I think when we start with our generation and what we're doing, and for us it doesn't matter at all, who we support, and I think it's exactly the same, but the issue is still there as well, so it needs to be addressed, but it needs to be talked about, and this is probably not the way to do it on Twitter through that way, but or also other means as well, you know. But anyway, move on to arrivals in WWE.
Yes, budding indie star Jake Atlas has signed a WWE deal reported by both SoCal Uncensored and Last Word on Wrestling and confirmed by my good friend, the absolute cunt, Dave Meltzer.
Well, he will report to the WWE Performance Center in January. He's been telling indie promotions he's no longer available after December. The California native continued to turn heads in this year's PWG Battle of Los Angeles, where talent scouts from WWE and AEW were present.
Well, the 24-year-old recently worked for Ring of Honor and has turned down offers from both Impact Wrestling and MLW.
Well, the word on the street is that he grew up with WWE and that was his dream. Actually, it's surprised they haven't been taking him. He's had a good look, a good physique, and has charisma and can go to the ring. Friends of his said they've been recommended to go with AEW because it's right now with new people, whereas in WWE it will be a long wait. In the end, it probably depends on who sells themselves best to him and offers for the best money.
Absolutely, yes. Well, Atlas, real name Kenny Marquez, has been wrestling for just 3 years and made headlines in February 2018 when he announced he was gay.
Yeah, and again, that's another issue that some people are still kind of weird about. I think less and less now. You know, if you've got a problem, just watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and I think that'll sort you out, you know, especially UK versions. You watch any of the UK version of that?
No, I can't say I do.
Because, well, you need to catch up on that sometime. That's really, really good. Anyway, we'll move on to injuries.
Yes, in the wake of his Achilles injury, Xavier Woods tweeted on Friday that he has successfully undergone surgery to correct the issue.
Woods sustained the injury at a WWE live event in Sydney, Australia on Sunday night and was unable to finish WWE's Australian tour.
The Achilles tear suffered by Woods is worse than originally reported.
I'd like to keep him out of action for 9 months, at least 9 months to a year, Dan.
At least a year and a half.
So basically, he'd be probably miss WrestleMania, and at worst, won't be able to return until late summer or early fall of 2020.
Well, the injury happened a couple of weekends ago while WWE is in Sydney, Australia, and the New Day were wrestling the Revival. At some point during the match, Woods ran the ropes and then just collapsed. The referee did the X gesture to signal for help, and the match continued with Big E taking on Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder in a handicap match while Woods was helped to the back.
Well, in an update on his social media accounts, Woods said he recently had surgery done on his Achilles, and he has not been given a solid timetable on when he'll be able to return to action.
He noted that he's sad that he will not be able to wrestle for a while, and he thanked fans for their support. He also noted that his injury was a freak accident, but he plans on streaming a lot and creating new content for his YouTube channel.
Well, outside of WWE and the injury that was, I don't know, I shouldn't laugh, I'm sorry, but Lila Parker, the footage has emerged showing a Mexican wrestler sustained serious injuries after he suffered a horror fall from the ring during a recent show.
Well, Jesus Alfonso Huerta Escoboza, who is 53, fractured his neck after attempting to tackle an opponent before his head crashed into barricade outside the ring.
Well, the Mexican AAA worldwide wrestler was competing on a show that has been held at the 67th anniversary of the Monterrey Coliseum in Mexico City.
In the clip, Huerta, who competes under the stage name of La Parca, can be seen launching himself from inside the ring to out of it in a bid to tackle a rival.
However, as the 53-year-old went to complete the move, it's believed his feet became tangled in the rope, so the wrestler missed his intended target.
Well, instead, Huerta was put on a collision course with a protective barricade that separated the competitors from the watching crowd.
The impact caused him to lose consciousness, for medical staff immediately attended to the stricken wrestler inside the venue, where he's near by Hospital Oca.
Well, Huerta sustained a fractured neck as a result of the impact. There, Huerta remained overnight as staff at the hospital patiently waited for swelling around the wrestler's head to subside before beginning their examinations.
Well, Mexican newspaper La Reforma reported that the 53-year-old was unable to move his arms or talk following the accident.
Well, sources close to Huerta said that his health was out of danger, but that fractured his neck and cervical, with the wrestler slowly regaining control of his...
Huerta was later taken to hospital and with his health he said to be not in danger. And of course, La Parka wrestled for WWE. It just shows you how dangerous wrestling can be when it doesn't go right, and that's why they're called a suicide dive as well, you know.
Well, you know, even for a veteran like La Parka as well, you know, it's accidents happen all the time.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Impact Wrestling. Yes, we're going to go there, and they had their biggest event, Bound for Glory.
Well, the top rivalries, intense feuds, and most anticipated clashes unfold inside the Odeum in Chicago Sunday night when Impact Wrestling presented the biggest event of its calendar year, Bound for Glory.
Heavyweight champion Brian Cage defended his title against Sami Callihan in a match as much about revenge as successfully retaining his gold. Was Cage able to avenge the field by wife Melissa Santos at the hands of the Death Machine in the marquee bout of the Extravaganza?
Well, Tessa Blanchard, Darga, Ace Austin and a mystery opponent sought to end the X Division Championship reign of Ohio versus Everything's Jake Christ in a 5-way intergender ladder match. Would Blanchard make history by capturing the gold and sticking it to an OVE faction she had been at war with for the better part of a year? And
what success, if any, would Ken Shamrock find upon setting foot back in the same ring in which he became the first world champion in Impact Wrestling for a showdown with Moose?
Well, the fans found out the answer to those questions and more at the October 20th pay-per-view Spectacular.
Well, the opening bout of the evening was a Call Your Shot gauntlet match for the winner receiving a championship opportunity against any title holder of his choosing.
Former world champion Eddie Edwards, driven to the brink of insanity by his relationship issues with wife Alicia, was the first competitor through the curtain.
Reno Scum, Adam Thornstall and Luster, the legend, joined him in the ring as spots 2 and 3, while Jake Deaner even the heels to face ratio at 2 apiece at number 4. The Desi Hit Squads, Rohit Raju entered at number 5 and loaded the baby faces to a chorus of boos.
Well, the first surprise entrance of the night came in the form of Joey, the penis wrestler Ryan.
Yeah, Joey Ryan.
Who entered to a thunderous ovation at number 6, surrounded by heels. He dared them to touch it. Luster tried an atomic drop and hurt his knee. Thornstowe ate a big boot and fell headfirst on Ryan's nether regions, knocking himself out.
Yeah, well, that would happen, wouldn't it? You know. Well, with everyone attached, he executed his trademark flip, sending Dina and Raju over the top rope and out of the match. Jessica Havoc entered at number 7 and dropped Ryan with a chokeslam. She pummeled the competition, slowing the pace.
Well, Rosemary entered at number 8. She tossed the opposition with a suplex and paired off with Havoc. Ryan oiled himself up but ate a double clothesline from both women for his trouble.
But OVE's Fulton hit the ring at number 9 and eliminated a knockout, sending Rosemary and Havoc out with a double clothesline. Forsyth was sent packing and Fulton eliminated Ryan, boo, as Cody Deaner entered the match at number 10.
Well, Fulton eliminated Deaner with a chokeslam to the floor as Johnny Swinger entered at number 11. Jordan Grace became the third woman to enter the bout, entering at number 12. She wasted little time showcasing her power, delivering a German suplex to the massive Fulton. With the help of Edwards, Chancellor Jordan filled the Odeum in appreciation of the young competitor.
Well, the king of small style, Swoggle, entered the match at the next surprise at number 13, emerging from under the ring and bringing Swinger with him, preventing the old school heel from cheating his way to victory. He teamed with Grace to eliminate Swinger.
Kira Hogan arrived at number 14 and wasted little time targeting Grace. The women came face to face, rekindling their rivalry. Her stint was short-lived as Grace eliminated her over the top to the floor as Raj Singh made his entry at number 15. Luster the Legend was eliminated.
Tommy Dreamer was out at number 16 to a sizable pop from the Chicago faithful. Former AEW star Kylie Ray made her Impact pay-per-view debut, entering to a big ovation at number 17 and dropping Dreamer with a super kick. She followed with a senton on Singh. Fulton halted her momentum low, with Dreamer sent Singh flying to the floor.
Fulton eliminated Dreamer to a chorus of boos and Fala Ba 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 entered at number 18 and unloaded on Fulton. Madman responded with a shoulder block that failed to take the heavyweight off his feet. Fulton took to the sky and paid dearly. Smashed with a Samoan drop, the remaining competitors laid into him. Realised the fending off the most dominant wrestler in the match.
Well, Sabu entered at number 19, continuing in line with the company's ECW influence. Marabella Sherry was the final competitor to enter the match at number 20, eliminating Ray, Grace and Sabu to a chorus of boos. That left Barr, Fulton, Shearer and Edwards as the final 4 competitors in the match.
Well, Shearer powered bar to the floor, leaving 3. Edwards hit the ropes, but Fulton bowled him over. Shearer tossed Edwards with total disregard before trading blows with Fulton. Edwards and sent Fulton to the floor.
Well, per the rules, Edwards now square off with Shearer in a singles bout. Any chance he had of victory, though, may have come to an end when Fulton pulled Edwards to the floor and chokeslammed him into the ring apron.
Well, Shearer powered Edwards back into the ring. He set up for a big kick, but Edwards rolled through and delivered the Boston Knee Party to score the victory and set up his future title opportunity.
Well, the Spies' entries of Swoggle, Ray and Ryan were fun and added a hint of unpredictability. But the moment Josh Matthews first mentioned the length Edwards in the match, it felt like the former world champion was destined to overcome the odds and win the match.
Well, we get the Impact Knockouts Championship match. Tenille Dashwood versus Taya Valkyrie.
Well, We're Loka Taya Valkyrie entered Sunday's event as the longest reigning Knockouts champion in the 17-year history of Impact Wrestling.
After 287 consecutive days as a title holder, Valkyrie would have to defeat Tenille Dashwood, the woman against whom she had her very first match against. Dash won the match by defeating Kiera Hogan, then Madison Rayne, and finally both in a three-way dance.
Well, Dashwood was fast and aggressive from the opening bell, scoring the first near fall of the match. Valkyrie dropped the challenger with a German suplex as she looked to turn the tide.
Dashwood delivered consecutive corner cross bodies. The spotlight followed, and it appeared though the title was about to change. But a late save by Valkyrie's manager Johnny Bravo prevented it.
As the official ordered a second to the back, he tossed Valkyrie a chain. She failed to deliver a blow and appeared to be in trouble. Dashwood's feet as she threw the chain out the ring created just enough of a distraction for Valkyrie to deliver the road to Valhalla for the win.
The finish was a smart one in that it creates doubt in Valkyrie's ability to defeat Dashwood straight up, with the heel champion relying on interference and chancery, not to mention a momentarily opening late in the match. The score, the tainted win.
Yeah, and anybody that don't know about Tenille Dashwood, it's former Emma in WWE, so she's a great acquisition for Impact, and another great match as well. Up next, three-way tag team match for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team titles.
Oh, yeah. The North's Ethan Page and Josh Alexander may have sent LAX's Santana and Ortiz packing to AEW, but Sunday night they faced the enviable task of defending their Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships against the teams of Rob Van Dam and Rhino and Rich Swann and Willie Mack in a three-way dance.
Well, Swann and Mack took the fight to Page and Alexander earlier, frustrated the champions. It proved to be no easy path to successful title defence. Despite an attempt to keep things between his team and the champions, Swann rolled to the corner where Rhino tagged into the match and continued the attack on Page.
Well, the action broke down, each competitor delivering some trademark offence.
And back in the ring, Page delivered a wicked gorilla press slam to Swann from the top rope. A big backbreaker from Alexander, and Swanton from Page failed to put him away low.
Moments later, Rhino set up for the gore, but Van Dam blasted his partner with
a super kick in a shocking betrayal. As boos rained down from the stands, former Mr. Pay-Per-View blasted Mack and Swann with kicks before leaving to a chorus of disapproval.
Well, the North flattened Swann and retained the titles as fans and commentators alike tried to make sense of Van Dam's actions.
Up next is Michael Elgin versus Naomichi Mafuruji. Naomichi Marufuji.
Marufuji. Well, over the course of his career in Japan, Michael Elgin defeated the likes of Kenny Omega and Okada with some of the biggest stages wrestling has to offer. One star he's never had the opportunity to go off with, Marufuji.
Well, that changed at Bound for Glory as the internationally recognised competitors battled in a hard-hitting first-time ever contest.
The action was hot from the start, leaving men taking the time to fill each other out.
Continued, Marufuji, unable to string together anything even remotely resembling an offence. Elgin further punished his opponent, but could not put him away. A corner powerbomb followed by an Elgin bomb resulted in yet another near fall that shook Big Mike's confidence and led to disbelief on the part of the commentary team.
Shaken off the uncertainty, Elgin delivered a burning hammer for the pinfall victory.
Well, this was a hard-hitting Japanese strong-style match that had little build to it, and the reaction from the fans to it. As the match went on, though, and the competitors told their story, the fans brought into the action and chanted, "Fight forever," with every passing near fall.
Up next, five-way intergender ladder match for the X Division Championship.
The rivalry between OVE and the undeniable Tessa Blanchard continued in Chicago as the devious, villainous factions Jake Christ defended his X Division title against the third-generation competitor, Ace Austin, Daga, and a mystery opponent in a six-way match.
Well, AC Romeo joined Impact Wrestling 24 hours earlier and was added to the match at the last minute. A house of a wrestler with freakish athleticism, he handed it an interesting element to the match.
The dreadlock big man introduced a table, but Blanchard threw flew through the air and sent Fulton into the ladder with a Rana. Jake Christ returned to the ring but was sent through the table by Blanchard. Just as it appeared, though, Blanchard would win, Austin appeared and blasted her with a bang.
Blanchard crumbled to the mat and Austin retrieved the title for the win. This was every bit an exhilarating car crasher match you would ever expected from the talent involved. The stories preceding it and the gimmick itself, really well done.
Absolutely, yes. And up next is Ken Shamrock versus Moose.
Well, the abundantly confident, borderline arrogant Moose spent weeks calling out legendary Ken Shamrock, claiming to be bigger, tougher and faster and more legit than the UFC icon and former WWE Intercontinental champion. He would have had the opportunity to back up his words in one of the night's marquee bouts in which he squared off with the ankle-breaking 55-year-old badass Ken Shamrock.
Well, it would prove to be the most important match in the former NFL player's career.
Well, a slugfest started things between Shamrock, escalated the war with a dive to the floor that wiped Moose out, and while Callis on commentary, the fight continued to the floor, including another dive by Shamrock, who continued to wear out Moose.
His momentum was stalled by the interference of Frank Trigg, who held the legendary fighter up and allowed Moose to drop kick the ropes and damage his opponent's groin. With the official checking on Shamrock, Trigg again involved himself, cutting a turnbuckle pad off.
Well, Shamrock blocked an attempt to send him in an exposed turnbuckle and suplexed the big man to the mat. He applied the ankle lock, but Moose sent his opponent into the referee, evading defeat. A low blow by Moose allowed him to create some much-needed separation.
Shamrock suckered Moose in, though, and reapplied the ankle lock. Moose fought through the pain, refused to tap and benefited from more interference from Trigg.
A pump kick from Moose stunned Shamrock and allowed him to regain feeling in his foot.
Well, for the third time in the match, Shamrock applied the ankle lock. Moose valiantly continued to fight through the pain, looking for any and all which ways to escape the clutches of his opponent. He rolled through and sent Shamrock head face first into the turnbuckle.
The spear followed and Moose scored the win.
Yeah, so Moose defeated Shamrock, coming for a match involving a 55-year-old performer returning to the square circle on pay-per-view for the first time since 2002. This was a stunner. Shamrock pulled out dives and put in the work. He was driven, clearly, and accomplished things less than some performers his age would be unable to, Undertaker.
Well, with that said, the overabundance of Trigg's interference and the reliance on the ankle lock spots dragged the match quality down. The storytelling was there, but when it needed one spot to really elevate its quality, it either failed to produce or ended with Shamrock missing the exposed turnbuckle, rendering it meaningless to the bout.
Well, again, Shamrock put in the work and was damn impressive, but this could stood to be a few minutes shorter, minus an ankle lock or two, and with half the interference from Trigg.
And it's on to the main event. It is the Impact Wrestling World Championship match. Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan.
Well, over East, Sami Callihan spent months referring to himself as a brand, the franchise star of Impact Wrestling. His heinous acts, though, made him the target of the machine, Brian Cage.
Well, Cage caught Callihan in mid-air and planted him with an F5 for two. He reintroduced the guardrail, dragging the bent and broken object into the ring. With it propped in one corner, he set Callihan up on it for another superplex. Callihan bit his way out of it, delivered a low blow and sent Cage into the guardrail with a running powerbomb.
Well, Callihan retrieved a bag and emptied hundreds of thumbtacks on the mat. He sent Cage up to power drive and executed the move on a sharp objects. Almost as if he had been reawoken by the move, Cage kicked out and exploded to his feet. He powerbombed Callihan on attacks and finished him off with the drill claw.
Well, this was a phenomenal main event that delivered everything it needed to.
I mean, this felt like the guys who hated each other after leaving it on the line for the title. Sure, but also for the opportunity to maim the other one.
Well, after watching his wife brutally assaulted by Callihan on two separate occasions, Cage sought revenge and achieved it. He was explosive, violent and punishing. He beat the ever-loving hell out of Callihan and endured a hell of an assault in his own right. A man of his size is rarely seen bumping the manner he did here, not to mention selling. But Cage did, and all of it put a legitimate threat to dethrone him.
Yeah, so that was Bound for Glory. And I think it was quite a good show. There are quite a talented bunch on Impact, aren't they, Dan, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. There is a lot of talents there and thereabouts. There's a few comedy characters. But is that what you need to lighten the mood a bit?
I think you got to love the characters that are involved in it, and I think when they put in performances like they did, it is well worth watching it as well. And you know, it'd be interesting to see how they can build on this momentum. But we got the aftermath as well.
Well, Impact Wrestling held its first AXS TV tapings yesterday in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and started off with a huge title change in a match that will headline next Tuesday's Impact Wrestling.
Impact champion Brian Cage faced Sami Callihan in a steel cage match, in a rematch for their Bound for Glory pay-per-view match. But this time around the outcome was different as Callihan managed to pin Cage and win his first major singles title.
Brian Cage's Impact title with an injury that kept him on the sidelines for a while after he won the title from Johnny Impact at Rebellion pay-per-view in April. He held the title for 6 months.
Well, following the match, Tessa Blanchard made her presence felt and came out with a stare down with a new champion. Blanchard and Callan have a long history together in Impact Wrestling, having an intergender match at Slammiversary a couple of months ago, and I'm predicting that Tessa Blanchard will become the first ever woman to win major men's World Heavyweight Championship, basically.
Major men's heavyweight title championship, basically.
I reckon she will. So we'll see what happens with Impact Wrestling as well. We'll talk about that in the rivals. We'll talk about Joey Ryan.
Yes, Joe Ryan has signed a new deal with Impact Wrestling and appeared at their Bound for Glory pay-per-view.
Yeah, the news was confirmed by Ryan himself in a tweet, adding it made the most sense. Impact Wrestling has been the most consistent wrestling program on TV for the past 2 years. I get to keep all my indie dates, and best of all, they let me be me.
Well, the 39-year-old Los Angeles native worked for Impact for a year in 2012, but with a few other talent in July of 2013. He found more success on the indie scenes years later, where now he's a staple on many shows. His viral video of a comedy spot where he used his penis to overpower a wrestler landed him in several publications, as well as a deal with an adult website.
I mean, brilliant. We love Joey Ryan. So we're talking about it, and we said we were in between birthdays, so we're going to be a bit self-indulgent at the moment, I suppose.
It's all about us.
So Dan, I have got you a card, and you got me a card as well, which I always appreciate.
I have got you a card. So shall we open our own cards, obviously?
Well, you've got a lovely little message on you. It's to my only Lorcan, to the only Lorcan to my Danny Birch.
Yes, that is obviously a shout out to one of our favourite tag teams who are useless without each other.
Without that, and I put a really touching message on the front of yours.
Dan.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what to put.
Right, well, Avengers card. I very nearly got you this card.
Did you really get me a
I very
card?
nearly got you that card. It's your birthday. Hope it's epic. To Dan, have a great day. Love, James.
See ya. And I open up mine. Oh, Superman card. You're brave, fearless, strong and powerful. You know me so well, don't you? And really, really cool. To James.
No, read it properly.
To the funny, good-looking, intelligent one, all crossed out, and then to James. Love from Dan. A couple of kisses there. That's really nice, Superman. All right, so we'll talk about surprise. I want to do your surprise first because actually no, I don't know. I don't mind. We've got Dan's choice actually today to put on in background and to watch a little bit of it.
Well, you asked me what my choice was, and I simply said 3 letters. R K O.
Yeah. So we've gone something different. We've gone to my wrestling DVD collection. And we found a very good DVD that Dan's enjoying at the moment. What is the DVD, Dan? Go on, tell us all about it.
The DVD is Silvervision presents Randy Orton, The Evolution of a Predator. And it is, 7 hours of Randy Orton goodness.
Released in, I think, 2011. It's all about Randy Orton. They've got a little documentary, and then, of course, you've got the matches as well.
Yeah, it's basically like a... what is it they do?
24.
Like a 24 series or, like a collection of just Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. Another thing we do as well, sometimes we do. We've never done it on air, and I want to do it today. It's basically, I don't know how to explain this. It's the WWE Kids magazine. And what it is there's always free gifts. And we always try and open it and then try and get a gift as well. But obviously, Dan, I mean, it's your treat today. I mean, do you want to go through your goodie bag?
No, we'll do it as we normally go through. I think that's the best way to do it.
So I'll let you open it up and give it the first crack. So, of course, WWE Kids Halloween edition. Alexa Bliss on the front of the cover.
Obviously. Who else would be on the front?
Yeah.
Turn it round so we can't see what we're grabbing. It's placed in between us now.
Right.
Reach in, delve about. Oh, what's this?
What you got?
Long thing I've just pulled out. Oh, no, sorry. It is a giant poster. Oh my God!
What?
Randy Orton poster.
No, you're kidding me! What are the chances? Go on, get it out. Oh, God. Go on, pop
I'm
it.
just pulling it back. Oh.
Well, that's a big one. Oh, my word.
It's got WWE Kids on it, but it is a 4-part poster. On one side, it is Randy Orton in all his gloriousness. And on the back side... Oh, Randy Orton. But it is of the SmackDown roster. It's a 4-part poster. I'm obviously going to laminate it.
Yes,
and
obviously.
stick it to my bedroom wall right at the head of my bed.
All right, I'll stick my hand in next. Oh, well, it's the smallest thing, but it's... Oh, my God. It's... You know I love them. It's a badge. It's my yard badge. Roman Reigns. Well, you know what I'm doing with that straight away. I'm going to put that on my little T-shirt there.
Put that on his breast.
My God. Yeah, oh, got my nipple. That's nice.
Are you finished there, James?
Got my badge collection. Oh, no. Just close your eyes. You got it.
I have got a Rey Mysterio wallet, armband, and wristband set.
You were telling me you wanted that last week.
I wanted a Rey Mysterio wallet, armband, and wristband
Oh,
set.
my God.
And I've got it now. The Master of the 619.
Right, okay. Let me see. Oh, there's only a couple of things left, but... Oh my God. Stickers. All right, Dan. There are 8 superstars even. 4 men, 4 women. I'm going to play a little game. Bonus point on the line. If you can guess one of these wrestlers.
Becky Lynch.
No, she's not in it. Oh, right. Okay, panic me for a second there.
Who is that?
Okay, Seth Rollins
Yeah.
is on there. Makes sense. Bailey.
Yeah.
Carmella. Ember Moon. Ali. Lars Sullivan. Andrade. And Sin Cara.
Ah.
So, not a wide range. Do you want that for your sticker collection?
I'm okay, thank you.
Here you go. You had enough for stickers. All right. We got anything left in there, Dan?
Let me have a delve about in your bag. There is a WWE Slam Attack Universe card. It is a 5-star powerhouse, Braun Strowman.
Whoa.
It is a gold limited edition. Braun
Gold
Strowman.
limited edition. That is incredible. I believe that. Well, there you go. That's the magazine. And there is a magazine in there as well, yeah?
Yes, and the puzzles are quite easy, actually. I can complete them.
You do.
Which is good.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a nice little surprise for you. All right, so still on the... So did you get me anything for my birthday then?
Oh, James, why do you always do this to me?
No. Oh, you've done it. What's that?
Well, I'm going to reach into my bag of tricks, and I know you're Scottish, so I've used a bit of Scottish wrapping paper.
Oh, they call it in Scotland. Oh, wow, 2 of them.
There is 2.
Wow. God almighty. I wish I'd got you something this year as well. No, I'm joking. I'll get a little surprise in a minute. All right, let me open up the first one. Hold on. Try and keep wrapping. Oh, I can see its head. Oh, that's a good one, isn't it? Yeah. Bruce. I got Hulk. Is that what you saw when you looked and you were like, Bruce Banner, man, from the Avengers.
He's starting to change as well.
He is. He's used to
Or
go
is he
green.
trying to change?
I can't change. I can't. Yeah, I love pop vinyl. So if anybody's listening to this and's got, wants to send me any pops, and by all means, and that's Bruce Banner. That's actually going to be part of the Avengers Infinity War collection as well. It's lucky because I've got 418. See, Dan knows exactly what I'm about. I've still got one more, but I'm going to leave that.
Well, when in doubt, just get pop vinyls.
Yeah, that's literally.
But you've got such a vast collection. It's now like, which one has he not got? So.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't know. It's good. Right, okay. So, I was like, what does Dan want for his? But
what do you give the man who has everything?
Exactly. And it's nothing I can really give you. But what we do is, I'm trying to give you an experience. All right.
Not like last time, James. I'm still not walking right from that.
Look, right. So we go. We go to Raw and SmackDown every year. Look, of course, we're not going to get tickets this year as a kind of protest against WWE. But that means because the WWE ticket, for a Raw, you're looking at about £100, £150, and about £100 for SmackDown. Even that's just one person. So you double that for mine and Dan and stuff like this.
And that's not including the overpriced T-shirts, the food we need to get travelling up there.
It's very, very expensive. So the idea now for the WNR podcast is to try and look around and try and go to a few other different places to see what's going on. Now, luckily for us, around the area here of Kent and everything like this, there's kind of a few events. But this is the interesting thing. We're trying to look at it. So I was looking online, and I saw an event for December 15th. So mark your diary on that one there. IPW Undisputed free is on in Maidstone. So Maidstone's not that far away to
So
go.
does it matter if I haven't seen IPW Undisputed 1 and 2? Will I not be lost?
Well, we might have to catch up a little bit on the IPW history. There's going to be, it's got a local talent. Like I said, local wrestling is kind of what you go for. But there is one man that is going to be there, and that man is, of course,
Randy Orton.
not Randy Orton.
Yes.
Better than Randy Orton. All right. It is Joey Ryan.
You're shitting me.
We are going to see.
Can I touch his penis?
Well, Dan, this is what I was saying to you. I looked at tickets, right? So we have got VIP tickets, which
Very important penis.
which means we're
Yes.
front row,
Fucking hell.
meet and greet, right?
Yeah.
And also free poster and gift for this event as
Is
well.
the gift touching his penis?
Well, I'm going to try to touch his penis as much as
This is something that we never thought we'd kind of divulge on the podcast, but we want to touch Joe Ryan's penis.
Yeah, Ollie, two VIP tickets, front row for the IPW event in Maidstone that we're going to see, and of course meet and greet as well with all the talent. So we will be meeting Joey Ryan. So for us, that's what we can do and experience. And most of it, I won't go into detail, but it was a fraction. So we can do this 5, 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is the best tickets, and it was still value for money for me, you know.
Well, I don't know about you, but the best experiences I've had going to watch wrestling have been when we used to go and watch Rev Pro when it used to be filmed done in Sittingbourne. Absolutely great days. We met Colt Cabana, even though he's a dickhead. We've met Drew McIntyre. We've met Ricochet. We've met the Young Bucks. We've met so much talent there, and it is a lot better experience. Smaller crowd. Everyone seems into it. It is a lot more fun.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And it'll be good to get there. And like I said, it's getting there and going out. And we're going to start doing more and more things as well when it comes to that. And I think it's the first time I've been really excited for a wrestling event in a long time. And I'm trying to not tell you and keep it until now. You know what I mean? It's been difficult, but I think it's going to be fun. Great tickets for the great seats, and the experience is always going to be good. You'll be able to,
absolutely. Yeah.
like I said, we'll hopefully be able to touch them.
Fingers crossed I get to touch a man's penis.
Yeah, and we'll bring a full review. And like I said, anybody else that's gone to British wrestling, anything like this, or anybody's gone to any independents, let us know. And especially if it's near the area we try and get to. I think with Joey Ryan, it's going to be a little bit more adult orientated, because I think Joey Ryan is Joey Ryan. Everybody knows who the character is. Might get a few kids, but I still think we're going to be able to, bask in his glory, so to speak. So I think it should be a fun time. And I've got one present left as well, so I'll open that one up. Let's see what it is. Why is it vibrating?
This one wasn't easy to find.
Wasn't easy to find. Whoa, man! It's Batman. Oh no! Can I Batman Forever? I gotta get back to
I'll give you Batman Forever.
I gotta give it back to her. Oh my! It's my first black one. I've never had a black one.
I've had a couple.
80 years.
It's a limited edition Batman 80-year celebration.
Whoa, man, that's probably the best pop that I've got. Yeah, I'm shaking with that. Because I always look at the condition as well, don't I? You know what I'm like.
Well, I did say to you, James, that I got you 2 boxes of miniature heroes. You see what I did there?
Yeah, these are here. Oh my word! And that's my. I love it. Awesome, man. That's good. That's good. Anyway, it's not all about me. Anyway, So, yeah, Joey Ryan, couple of pops, DVD that you want. What's Randy Orton doing now? He's eating.
Well, Randy Orton is eating a banana in a very provocative way.
Yeah, why is he doing that?
No, he's gearing up for his match at WrestleMania 27. This is it's good. It's like a Chronicles episode. You go back, you see his family life. You see kind of what inspired it. You see a few clips from his younger days when he was an amateur wrestler, because he didn't want to be a wrestler. When he was younger, he was too skinny. He had like the 10th most acne. He had braces. He wasn't always the handsome, tight-ripped man you see before you.
All right. So what we'll do, I think is fair enough, is we'll early or later on, Randy. I mean, this is from 2011 to 2010. I'm sure there's going to be some choices. What Randy Orton match should we pick? Should we pick a Randy Orton match to watch to finish us off here tonight?
I want Randy Orton to finish me off, because it's nearly my birthday.
All right, so we've selected matches for Randy Orton on the Predator DVD. So let's read them out first, Dan.
We've got Randy Orton versus Slick Robbie D from OVW Christmas Chaos.
We've got Randy Orton's debut against Hulk Holly on SmackDown, 25th April. Sorry, I gave the date.
Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels at Unforgiven in 2003.
Intercontinental title match, Randy Orton versus Rob Van Dam, Armageddon 2003.
Handicap tag team match, Randy Orton, Nature Boy, Ric Flair and Batista versus The Rock and Foley. Mick Foley.
No holds barred, full count anywhere match for the Intercontinental title, Randy Orton versus Mick Foley.
Intercontinental Championship match, Randy Orton versus...
And the handicap casket match, Randy Orton and Cowboy Bob Orton versus Undertaker.
Well, personally, I'd like to see the match that Mick Foley voted as his best match.
So we are going to go 18th of April 2004. It's Backlash, and it's one of my favourite matches as well, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a pleasure to watch this to celebrate both of our birthdays. And, of course, we've got a huge... we'll do this. Actually, we'll do a schedule quickly because we're going to talk about it. We've got a huge month coming up in November.
Yes, on November the 10th, we've got the NXT update. And when does that start, James?
Next week.
Indeed.
On November 17th, we're going to have AEW Full Gear. We're actually going to watch the event. Plus Survivor Series 1999. We'll have a look at that as well.
On the 23rd and 24th, we've got the live shows for Survivor Series and War Games.
Yeah, so we are really looking forward to coming live. And then we'll release NXT TakeOver on the 30th of November. And, of course, in December, we're going to bring you the year-end awards, as we always do. And, of course, our Christmas special as well. And in the new year, we'll let you know about all our plans. And, of course, the next episode, NXT Update. But right now, it's going to be Randy Orton, who's come out here with a barbed wire wrapped around a 2x4 and a trash can, going to go against Mick Foley. And this feud started for Randy Orton nearly a year previously as well. I think it's one of the best build-ups to a match, and we saw all throughout Randy Orton, you know, even at the Royal Rumble, Mick Foley returning after being kicked down the stairs at Madison Square Garden and walking away from Orton. But the Hardcore Legend is going to be back in this one. And there's no doubt Mick Foley got in great shape for this match as well, as he comes in with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. You're going to put on your Rey Mysterio thing?
Yeah.
Your wrist, yeah. Oh my word. That's an armband. Don't fit around your wrist, does it? Oh yeah, that's quite cool actually. You're going to put the wrist one on as well. And Randy Orton dropped toe holding Cactus Jack, who was chasing with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. Now Orton's got it. That's going to cut off circulation to your arm, isn't it?
That one is. Put it around my head. Oh, this wallet is...
Oh, a little wallet. What's it smell of?
It smells of chimichangas.
Chimichanga.
No. And this match has started off hardcore already. Randy Orton repeatedly ramming the trash can into Mick Foley's head, and Foley not even getting his hands up to block it.
And now Cactus with the trash can taking Orton out, and I don't know if he's busted wide open.
So is he Mick Foley or Cactus Jack?
Well, I think it's Mick Foley, but he looks like Cactus, and he's fighting like Cactus.
It does look an awful lot like Cactus Jack.
And now he's choking out Randy Orton.
Foley with an Irish whip, kick to the midsection, and a running knee lift, dropping a Cactus leg drop across the head of Orton into the cover. Oh no, Orton managing to kick out. And Randy hasn't even taken his t-shirt off to expose his tight ripped body.
That's episode 3. And Cactus now just choking out Randy Orton.
I'd like to shout out a big happy birthday to my main man Andrade Cien Almas. And who's the other one?
Grand Metallic.
And Grand Metallic.
Plus both our teams play tomorrow, so let's hope them well as well.
Yes. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Jizz.
A net breaker by Cactus on Orton on the outside. Now Cactus going up to the second turnbuckle.
Orton crawling his way out the entranceway to escape the inbound Cactus. He's not managed to escape far enough though, because Foley's behind, grabbing Orton by the nose. But Orton was playing a bit of possum and a backdrop on the ramp.
Hello, possums! Well, Cactus cracked his head, and Orton hopes that's it. Go for the cover.
No, only a 2 count.
2.
Orton with a backslide into a pin attempt, trying to catch Cactus out. But no, Foley managing to kick out.
Both men playing dangerous game at the moment, and Orton going down low and smashes his Mick Foley's head off the steel ramp. Do you like the pop out? And Orton now with uppercuts.
Upper what? You can see the barbed wire wrapped 2 before just hanging on the side of the ring apron.
Orton slowly got into this match.
Now he's looking for the very tightly wrapped baseball bat with 2 before. As he tries putting it in Foley's face, who manages to block it for now at least. It's a test of strength, but Foley wins it with a low blow. A Cactus clothesline turns Orton inside out as he reaches in for Mr. Socko. It looks quite a clean one.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, if he's going to pull a white thing out of his trousers, let's hope it's Socko.
Or Coco.
Rocco. Well, Mankind and Cactus going to argue with each other.
Yeah, I think Dude loves getting in on the action as well.
He just wants peace between the two.
What do the fans want? Do the fans want Socko or do the fans want Bato?
Well, they want Bato.
Oh! And he gives it to Orton straight across the face.
And Orton is bleeding like a stuck pig.
That's not enough for Foley though, who drops it again onto the head of Orton.
And a huge right hand by Cactus. Just to the right hands, and Orton's just struggling to stay in this match. He's out on his feet.
Well, he's using Foley to stay on his feet.
And all the personal hatred, these two men, and Foley now giving it to Orton.
Bang, bang. I was charging in with a huge knee to the jaw of Orton.
Now Cactus picks up the baseball bat again.
Oh, he's going to try and swing for a home run this time.
Oh, and he's disfiguring the face of Randy Orton.
Oh, Orton trying to crawl out of there.
Look at the fear and terror in his eyes as Cactus just cuts away with a baseball bat.
There we go. That's better, Cactus. As he rips the shirt off of Randy Orton. Do the pants next. What, James?
Oh, no!
Oh! Ouch. Cactus places the barbed wire 2x4 between the legs of Orton and just drops the leg on top of it.
Well, what's baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire?
2 baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
He's got the gasolina. Oh, it's getting hot in here. It looks like Cactus. What's worse, the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Flaming baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Flaming. Oh, JR begging for someone to stop it. And wait a minute. Well, Bischoff's come out. What's the general manager said, Dan?
Well, he said not only will you lose this match if you like that barbed wire baseball bat that's covered in petrol, the fire marshals will shut this match down and all these 15,000 fans will be sent home and not be able to watch the rest of the show.
Oh, and Cactus decides to throw it out. It's not worth it. Rather beat on Orton a little bit more.
What else has Cactus got in his bag of tricks? A baking tray. Straight to the head. And Orton just folds himself up. What is going through that crazy man?
Oh, my word.
Holy shit.
Well, it's a board, 6-foot board of barbed wire. You sure Bischoff doesn't come out again?
Indeed. He said he couldn't set the baseball bat covered in barbed wire alight. He didn't say anything about a board covered in barbed wire alight.
Well, this will be the end of Randy Orton. And Orton now getting backed off slowly and slower to the board. One last big move, put him there.
Oh, what a handful of dust and a scoop slam onto the board. He was blinded and then thrown onto it.
Oh my God, that's sick. Look at Randy Orton, he's smirking.
No, James hasn't got a cigarette in his gob. He's got a smile on his face because he's just got one up on Cactus Jack. And he only got 2 down when he went for the cover.
2.
But he's clubbing away at the back of him now.
Now Randy Orton now is going to take advantage of that barbed wire board. And Cactus, you see, he's bleeding from the arms. He's going to be in trouble with the Irish whip.
Orton looking for it, but Cactus holding on. Second time lucky, no. Third time, oh!
Cactus reversed it, but Orton reversed his reverse, sent Mick Foley into it, and then drop kicked him in, adding insult to injury.
And you can see just ripping at the shirt and the flesh of Cactus Jack. And Orton again, oh!
Drops the board onto him.
Well, Randy Orton's lost a lot of blood, and this will give him time to recover maybe a little bit. What's Orton looking for?
Oh, that's not a bag of thumbtacks, is it?
Oh, what's he got in there? Is he going to hit Cactus with it? Right.
Hundreds and thousands of thumbtacks.
Get the bag off. And Orton looks to RKO Foley and finish this match.
Head first into the tacks.
It's got to be one of my favourite bumps of all time, actually. Orton's face is priceless as well. And he's going to send Cactus through.
He's got him in position, bouncing the ropes. Oh!
Oh! And Orton lands on a thumbtack.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, Orton. is shaking as he glistens with thumbtacks.
A roll up from Foley. No, but Orton managing to kick out.
Oh my God. Fair play, Randy Orton being put through that punishment. And how's he going to get out of the ring? He can't with his back. And all in his hand.
God.
And Orton's getting the hell out of here. I think it's fair enough. All in his elbow.
Jesus.
And Orton running away and going to the back with Cactus, probably getting all those thumbtacks taken out.
Yeah, there's someone back there with a claw hammer. Oh, what's going on? Can we get a cameraman backstage, please?
Oh, they're coming back.
And Orton now been thrown off! Oh! And Mick Foley just killed Randy Orton. Threw him at least 15 feet off that stage.
And I've heard at least 25 foot. And I've heard that many people say Randy Orton doesn't take any risks.
Fucking idiot would say that when you look at what Randy Orton's taken.
He's taken more risks in this one match than most people have in their entire career.
Crazy. What a match it is as well.
Absolutely brilliant. Brutal, sick match.
Well, trainers,
referees,
EMTs,
all down checking on Randy Orton. No one cares about Cactus Jack.
This doesn't look good. The way he exploded into the crate. I don't think Foley's finished. I think Cactus wins with decision. Randy Orton can't carry on, that's fair enough.
Well, Randy Orton hasn't said he can't carry on. And I think he's just realised that.
And Cactus just taking out the referees. And now he's jumping off the stage!
Oh! Drops the elbow onto Orton.
Orton's taking too much punishment. Cactus will sacrifice himself to hurt the other opponent. And just blood smearing where they landed. And now Cactus into the cover to...
No! Even after all that punishment, Orton managed...
The fans chant Foley as he struggled to pick up Orton. Orton's dead weight. I don't know how he's still in this match. Oh my God, I get thrown back in the ring now. Covered in thumbtacks and barbed wire everywhere.
I don't think Orton wants to go anywhere near them thumbtacks anymore. He was the one that introduced them, and I think he realised that was a very bad idea. For the double arm DDT.
And that's it, it's over.
Oh no. Still can't keep the Viper down. Orton managing to get the shoulder up at 2.
2. Well, that's the move that beat Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WF title at one point.
Well, that means Randy Orton's better than Stone Cold then, surely.
Don't call me Shirley, but I guess you're right. Now Cactus getting stuck to the barbed wire board.
Orton with the baseball bat 2x4.
The barbed wire bat used by Orton. Cactus couldn't see it, now he's busted open.
Orton goes to the midsection. Follows up with a shot across the back. Cactus Jack trying to get Socko on his hand. Oh, he's got the mandible claw locked in.
And Orton could be going to sleep soon. He hasn't got the title out of his grasp. And Cactus has got all right he wants him. Orton's desperate.
With a huge uppercut.
Oh.
And a low blow to follow up with.
Well, Cactus, bloody mess. So's Randy Orton.
Well, the mandible claw's locked in for a second time. Oh, but Orton managed to hit an RKO from the mandible claw. Out of nowhere.
Now Orton in for the cover. 1, 2... No!
Just a 2 count.
2. The first ever man to kick out of an RKO.
Ah, he is indeed.
Oh my God!
RKO onto the barbed wire covered baseball bat. And Foley has no choice but to stay down, and Orton gets the victory.
Wow. And what an incredible match that was between the two. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely brilliant. You know, you can't help but just... You know, the thing that sticks out to me is Orton's face as he goes back first into them thumbtacks. It is, yeah, it's a crazy match. And, you know, you can kind of see why they don't do matches like this anymore.
Well, I think we're out of doubt, but I think the thing is that people have a go at hardcore wrestling, and the thing is about it is that if there's a story told to it, that it makes sense. All the spots in there were high impact and were incredible to watch, and it's still enjoyable, 15 years ago now. So that is definitely something, as Randy Orton, part of a group, got the job done by himself. It's something else. At the time Randy Orton's career, he needed this victory.
Absolutely, yeah, especially over someone like Mick Foley as well.
And Mick Foley was good enough to put him over to the best extent, and Randy Orton is still Unicontinental Champion there. So that's it. It's been quite a good episode. I quite enjoyed it today. It's been different.
It has been a very enjoyable episode, yeah, catching up on all the past few weeks' antics, the present exchanges, the Randy Orton side of things as well. Yeah, it's been very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, and it's going to get even better because next week we'll bring you NXT update, of course NXT UK and NXT, along with AEW will have the final of the tag team tournaments plus the latest episode as we head towards Full Gear, and of course NXT Takeover at the end of November as well. So that is it for now. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at W Network Review or
At Vince McDan, WWE.
I'm at _Rollins. Of course, all the Google platforms. Send us an email at WNRpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram, the WNR Podcast. We're on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook, come and find our page and give us a like with a WWE Network Review podcast. That's going to change soon. Or you can come and find me and add me as a friend. I am Vince McDan.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the WNR Podcast, there where we've got latest clips and podcasts go up same time on YouTube as do other places like SoundCloud.
On your phone.
We're gonna have live shows, Spreaker Radio coming, and of course Stitcher Radio and iTunes. Where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. But that is it. Yeah, I had a good birthday. You have a good birthday as well, Dan.
I will have a good birthday.
Should be fine, and we'll talk about what we got up to and all the shenanigans and stuff next week. But until then, yeah, I've been Jay Phones, and as always joined by.
Damn right.
Have I done that already? I don't care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.